Yes.
Love to be groped by Jim Nance.
No.
Well,
I would.
All right, so you don't get the grope.
You wouldn't
PFT
let
and I do.
You wouldn't
Fine.
let Jim Nance grab your butthole.
No.
No, not hole.
I'm good with
hole. Cheek,
touch your butt.
Cheek.
I'm good with
Accidentally one pinky
Cup
into
of a
the
cheek.
crack.
He's going to cup a cheek. On today's Pardon My Take, we have two-time national champion, head coach of the Arizona State Sun Devils, Bobby Hurley, also brother to Dan Hurley, who's in the championship game. Monday night, we're going to recap Houston, the Final Four, our weekend. We went to the game, the first game that is, talk a little women's championship game, LSU versus Iowa, what we've been doing, who's back of the week, a great interview with Bobby Hurley, and we're set to finish the college basketball season. Great show coming your way. It is brought to you by our friends at Pupperoni. Pupperoni, we've been talking about it. Want to be your best friend's best friend? Well, you need Pupperoni because Pupperoni treats have the best taste and aroma that dogs find irresistible. Number one pick in the dog draft, Jake.
Is any type of dog?
Any type of dog. Ones that you're not allergic to?
I'll go Bernie's Mountain Dog.
Okay,
Good
I'm
pick.
going Mutt.
Yeah.
PFT.
Air Bud.
Air Bud. So, Pupperoni, if you have a dog, if you are a dog owner, or maybe you even know a great dog that wants a Pupperoni treat, celebrate your favorite sports team with your BFF, your pup. Pupperoni Treats has the ultimate treats for your MVP, most valuable pup. Treat your BFF to the ultimate media indulgence. Pupperoni Treats. Be your best friend's best friend with Pupperoni Treats. Go to pupperoni.com to find a bag near you. That's PUPPERONI.com. Pupperoni.com to find a bag near you. Pupperoni, best treats in the world. Your dog will absolutely love them. Stella loves them. Billy's dog, Whitey, loves them. Pupperoni Treats, the best treats out there. Original beef flavor treats. Be your best friend's best friend with pupperoni.com. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Pardon My Take. Today is Monday, April 3rd, and then there were two. Dun, dun, dun. Championship game.
UConn is a wagon. And that might be the kiss of death because I'm the minus sign king and I'm about to lay a brick. I'm about to lay a brick on UConn. And it's giving me vibes of how sure I was that there were going to be no doinks. I'm essentially betting on no doinks tonight.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Let's set the scene for the people. If you watch the intro, you saw us in a different place.
Huh?
We care so much about the listeners. There were people walking by the room we were recording in. We're now in Louisiana, by the way. That we said we have to, for the AWLs, stand up, walk out, find a new room, and now we are here. And we're in Louisiana. We're in Houston on Saturday night for the Final Four. We attended the game. And now we're going to break down the games.
Straight up, Lake Charles, Louisiana is my favorite place on earth.
It is.
I love this place.
It is. So it's a fantastic place. Thank you to everyone who accommodates us here. Where should we start with the game? Should we go with the first game, the buzzer beater, and then get to UConn?
Yeah, let's get chronological with it. It was the most tanned fan base that I've ever seen in the history of a basketball game. A lot of bros from San Diego, a lot of bros from FAU.
Yep.
Very attractive people, just in general.
This was the broiest Final Four ever because Miami bros go hard as well.
Yep.
Like there was a few times where I turned around in the concourse and there was just a bunch of Miami fans and I was like, you guys look like you're having a fucking awesome time and I wish I was somewhere between 15 to 17 years younger.
Watching a bunch of dudes roll around just slugging tall boys wearing Sean Taylor and Ray Lewis football jerseys.
Yep.
That's how basketball should be played.
Saw some Tony Gwynn jerseys, which was sick. That's just a nice wrinkle. I actually saw a baseball San Diego State Tony Gwynn jersey. That was cool. Did he play at San Diego State? I don't think so.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Yeah, and he was a basketball player
That's right.
too. He's a damn good basketball player.
Yeah, there were some of those as well. So the vibes were cool. We went into the arena. Memes and I sat, it is Space City. We were basically sitting in orbit. We went and we sat at the top row. People were shaming us. I actually enjoyed the top row. You couldn't really see a lot, but I actually enjoyed it. I don't know why. Like, there was something about it. It was kind of cool to see the entire arena all at once.
Yeah, you were up high enough. That's like where Jeff Bezos goes when he says he's going to outer space. And
Yeah.
he's just in like near Earth orbit. That's where you were. It's a knock against the whole idea of playing basketball in a football stadium.
Yes.
Which I understand why they do it, because they can sell a shitload more tickets. But at the same time, the arena doesn't rock as much. It's not as loud. You can't hear everything. Jake, I mean, the press seats that they had, you guys were...
The NCAA tournament is such bullshit. They basically take an entire half of the first section and right by the court side and just give it to the press.
Well, there's 3 rows center court.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
For the elite press.
Right. So who but
Like
does
New
any
York
other event
Times.
do that? No. They don't do that for the NBA Finals. No chance.
No, they don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All
It's
like the
crazy.
national publications get the center court ones, and then everyone else gets the end zones.
Well, the New York Times doesn't even have a check mark. But anyway, so the upstairs, I will admit there was a few times, memes can maybe chime in, there was a few times where a shot was made and I didn't know if it was made or not, and I just reacted off of the crowd. Like there was a couple of even swishes where I was like, did that go in? So it was kind of hard to see, but the vibes were great. Like when you get all the way up there, you're closer to God. And you're with God's people, because everyone up there is like, we had to get all the way up here. It takes a lot.
That means that Jim Nance was in hell.
Yeah.
Courtside. He got a standing ovation from everybody.
I wanna hear
classy.
Jake's- yeah.
He was pointing. He was tipping his invisible hat to everybody in the arena. We gave him a standing O. Shout out Jim Nance.
Yeah.
Class personified.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Did you have a little tear during that moment?
It was a really nice moment. I don't know if you saw on Twitter, I got to catch up with Jim on Friday's practice day.
Oh, you did?
I interviewed him.
What?
You didn't see this?
No.
Oh,
I did not.
You didn't see it? The best part by far, Jim Nance told Jake that he was proud of him.
Wait, can you play it on your phone real quick? Listen, I apologize. Whenever we're on the road,
There's a lot that happens.
there's a lot that happens. There's just like things are moving. We were driving. We drove from Austin to Houston to Louisiana. We were playing golf. We were doing all kinds of shit. So I apologize for missing this.
It's okay. Yeah. So I had
Did
the
he
media
touch your
credential.
butt?
No, he
He seems like a groper. That's not accusatory. Like more like a friendly groper.
friendly, attaboy.
Yeah, right.
Like, congratulations.
Jim Nance is a little older, so like they used to grope back then.
Yeah, it's like when an old man grabs your butt, it's
Right.
not creepy.
Right. It's not like he's assaulting anyone.
I've
It's just
had
like he just gropes.
I've had my butt grabbed by more people over the age of 70 than anybody else on this planet, I
Yeah,
think.
right. He's
So-
like a Biden hair sniffer.
This
Yeah.
is like a 2-minute interview. You can watch it in its entirety on my Twitter feed. I'll fast forward to the last 30 seconds. The first like minute and a half was me asking him about Jim Nance week, going straight from the Final Four to Augusta.
Okay.
Things like
Okay.
that, and telling him about the games. But yeah. The mini fire vest. The band started playing in the middle of the
Oh
interview.
no!
For the full interview, you can look
Shut
at
that
Jake's
band
Twitter
up.
account.
Yes. Oh yeah, he also dropped in It's Wild.
Oh yeah, we can't hear anything. Okay, so
It'll get better.
I'm proud of you, Jake. Oh, is that your butt?
yeah, I didn't hear any of that.
There we
Oh,
go.
okay. Did he know who you were?
So it sounded like
I'm proud of you for your. He just sees like a guy in his 20s in a suit, and he's like, "You're just doing it right."
Well,
son.
he's proud of you because you finished in the top
I'll explain
10
the
in Jim Nance
backstory.
award.
When
Oh.
I shook his hand and introduced myself, hi, my name is Jake Marsh, fellow play-by-play broadcaster. I went to Syracuse, and I actually finished in the top 10 in your award. I told you guys about this award when I interviewed you.
Yes,
with you.
yes,
The Jim
yes.
Nance
Top
Award.
10. You finished 9th.
I finished 9th. There's a bunch of people who
It's
apply.
just, yeah.
I have
top
over
10,
9
top
10.
pieces of
Yeah,
African American
top 10. That's top 10.
memorabilia.
Top 10.
That is top
they
10.
rank the top 20 collegiate sportscasters in the country every year. I was just happy to be on the list.
So you finished in the first half. In
the top 10
top
of
half.
the ranked people.
Yeah, 20.
But it's like in college basketball. There's a top 25 ranking.
Oh, there's a bunch of other journalists that don't get ranked.
Tons of
Yeah.
them.
Okay, got
Like
it. Got it,
everybody
got it,
at
got it,
the
got it.
top
Northwestern.
25, there's
Okay,
330 people who
Top
don't
10.
get it.
Top 10's
So
top
I'm
10.
just glad to be on the list.
Bears
So-
fly forever. You're like the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
Top 10.
In other
Yeah.
words, Jim Nance was like, "I'm very proud of you for being the 9th most like me person in college broadcast."
Now,
In
did
2018.
Did
Yeah.
you say
Yeah.
I went from top 10 to a job at the reputable Barstool Sports.
I said I work at Barstool Sports.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
good job, Jim Nance. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's
I'm a big
fantastic.
Jim Nance guy.
We would love to have him on the show if he's
Absolutely.
listening.
Love to.
Yes.
Would
Yes.
love to be groped by Jim Nance.
No.
Well,
I would.
on the show.
all right, so you don't get the groping.
You wouldn't
PFT
let
and I do.
You wouldn't
Fine.
let Jim Nance grab your butthole.
No.
No, not hole. Not
I'm
hole,
good
not
with.
hole. Cheek.
Touch your
cheek,
butt.
Cheek.
I'm good with.
Accidentally one pinky
Cup
into
of a
the
cheek.
crack.
He's gonna cup a cheek.
He told me he was proud of me. I'll leave it at
We
that.
found a good way to ruin this moment for Jake.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
proud of you, Jake.
Thank
I'm
you.
proud of you.
Nance is hanging up. Maybe that means he's stepping into his like nice like post woke after career age, where he can now like finally let loose and
He can
be
say
Nance.
whatever the fuck he
He's
wants.
going to start a podcast.
Nance
He's still
Unfiltered.
doing
Yep.
golf in NFL.
Okay, yeah, true. So he's wow. So that actually is the Final Four was always number 3 on his list.
Maybe that's
That's
why.
sad.
Maybe that's why Tony Romo was always like, because Jim Nance is just getting up there.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
got his
yeah,
hand.
so
He's
this
like,
will be his
he's
final.
like Jeff Dunham.
Yeah.
He's just got his hand up.
This will
up
be
there.
his final travel from the Final Four to the Masters.
Wow.
End of an era.
Yeah.
Who's taking over?
Iron Eagle.
Okay,
Fellow
all right.
Syracuse
Iron
guy.
Eagle.
Great.
Who? Wild fact here. Who finished number 1 in the Jim Nance broadcast?
He finished number 2 the next year because he's a
No,
year
no,
younger than me.
not. Wait,
His son.
his son.
Noah.
His
Yeah,
son.
Noah.
I was gonna
my
say-
friend Noah from Syracuse.
That's wild because Iron Eagle, his son Noah Eagle, is also a broadcaster.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
Look out for him on NBC on Big Ten
Yes,
this
and
fall.
Nickelodeon.
Definitely look
and
out.
Nickelodeon.
And Nickelodeon. All right, so
Yes.
Iron Eagle, that's a good replacement.
Yes.
All right, so we got a little sidetracked, but the moment for Jim Nance was special. It was beautiful. Were you a little touched? Not
Yeah, it was-
the groping thing, but touched.
Yes. It was great.
Okay.
It was great.
The game. Let's talk about the game. I wish Dusty May had paid more attention to our interview when I told him that when San Diego State gets down by like 7-10, you haven't won yet.
Yeah, they were down by more than that.
They're down by 14.
Yeah.
So San Diego State.
Well, they got out hot. San Diego State came
Yeah.
out strong, and it looked like nobody was going to miss a shot on San Diego State.
And same with FAU. So FAU, San Diego State, their last lead in the game until the buzzer beater was at 11:05 in the first half. That's when FAU had tied the game, I think, at 17. And from that point on till the last second, FAU was in control of the game. Felt like, I mean, they put up 40 in the first half, which San Diego State, I think that's only happened one other
40 to
time this year.
33, yep.
Yeah, so FAU felt like they were like everything they wanted to do was working. And then San Diego State, they're so tough. They don't go away. There was a couple calls, but the block call on Golden, he had a clean block.
That was a great block.
That sucked. But San Diego State, credit to them because they're tough as nails, and we get the first ever buzzer beater in the Final Four when the team shooting the ball was trailing.
Yeah, it's crazy that it's taken this long because there's so many iconic buzzer beaters
Yes.
that happened in the Final Four or we think happened, but it's usually with a tie game or to tie the game.
Yes.
At the end of regulation. But that was crazy to see that. San Diego State, this is justice for them. San Diego State 2020.
Yep.
They were very highly ranked.
They
Them
only
and
had 2
Dayton.
losses.
Them and
Yeah.
Dayton
Yeah,
were like
2
the ones who got
losses.
screwed the most
So
by COVID.
They were going to be, I don't know what seed they
think-
would have been.
Probably a 1.
Maybe a
Yeah.
1 seed. So they canceled the tournament for COVID. This is San Diego State's redemption arc. They make it back. If they want any chance at all against UConn, they have to make some foul shots. My theory on San Diego State, number 13, and then I forget the other guy they were shooting a lot towards the end of the game.
Bradley's their best scorer.
Bradley. So they're both too jacked up
Yeah.
because they live on the beach in San Diego. So they're like, I got to have guns swole when I go outside all the time. They're too strong, and they don't have any touch on their foul shots.
And that was the craziest part about the end of the game. So the final sequence, FAU, I don't know. I guess you probably don't have this play in your playbook, but if Dusty May can learn anything from it, it's like figure out a play where if there's a 6-second differential in the shot clock, shoot right before the shot clock and hope the rebound just gets batted around a bunch.
Yeah.
Because what ended up happening is they get the ball back with 36 seconds. They're up by 1. They shoot with like 10 seconds left in the game, 5 seconds left in the shot clock. San Diego State comes down, no timeout. Brian Dutcher afterwards said, they asked him about it. He said, I ran out of plays, which is awesome. He's like, I had no more plays to give them. So, and San Diego State was in a defensive setup. So they had their 2 leading scorers on the season, Matt Bradley and Darian Trammell, were on the bench. And he's like, fuck it, let's just go. And then he comes down, Lamont Butler almost goes out of bounds.
Yeah, I
Like,
thought he wasn't aware of the time. He didn't do anything until like 2 seconds
It
left.
felt like when watching that they weren't going to get a shot.
Yeah.
And then he hits that buzzer beater. You have did you hear the call afterwards?
I haven't watched it in depth yet.
Okay,
no.
because maybe one of Hall of Fame "Orgasm in Our Ears" by Bill Raftery. Who
Oh
is
yes,
the
I
GOAT.
did hear that.
I want to play it for
He
you.
laid out
PFT.
after that though.
Yeah, but it was just a beautiful orgasm.
I love
Raftery.
Raftery. He's the best.
Well, I wish those moments. I know that it's like uncouth in broadcasting to have the second guy make a noise there, but that was what it was. Like that's March. Like it was a Final Four buzzer beater. That was all of our reactions. We all were like, "Holy shit, he just did this."
You need that guy in the threesome though, because you've got Nance again, class personified. Grant Hill, class personified. And then you need Raftery to be like, oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. It also, I have some wild stuff for you. Ready for it? Mm-hmm. Brian Dutcher didn't call a timeout. Now, he had a timeout. Brian Dutcher was also on the coaching staff for the most famous timeout ever, Chris Webber's. When he was coaching under Steve Fisher at Michigan. Steve Fisher, legendary coach at Michigan, gets fired from Michigan for NCAA sanctions, all this stuff. Goes to San Diego State, stays there forever, hands it off to Brian Dutcher, who's been waiting forever. I think he's 63 years old. Basically, everything that Steve Fisher built at Michigan with the Fab Five, now in today's 2023 NCAA is allowed. And like the whole thing has come full circle where it's like those guys, imagine how much money the Fab Five would have made on NIL.
It would have been crazy.
And now they're in the Steve Fisher's there. I think his son has ALS. He's part of the coaching staff. Like great story. It's just all of it. Brian Dutcher waiting. He was an assistant for 30 plus years, grinding it out. And now he's here and they're a championship game on Monday night. Like dream run. It's why you watch sports. It's these type of stories where like you have the guy who's been working his whole life and San Diego State gets robbed in 2020 and now they're here and ready to take down UConn maybe.
It's so funny to think about what used to be recruiting violations and how heavily they were punished. Like they were breaking the law at Michigan. When you think back to Bruce Pearl getting fired because he cooked a burger for one of his kids, pretty much.
Yes.
And now it's like, well, that's nothing. That's nothing. A kid would laugh at you if you offered him a burger. He'd be like, where's my Wagyu steak?
Yes.
So the game has shifted entirely. The game really changed in the second half because of the San Diego State student section.
Yeah.
They started building a cup snake.
They did.
Which is another thing that's completely different about the Final Four. You used to not be able to drink beer at these games.
Yes.
Now you've got the San Diego State bros slugging Coors Lights, building a giant beer snake, willing their team to victory, come from behind. Solid effort from the Aztec fans.
Yes. Very. I mean, it was an incredible comeback, incredible moment. I can't believe that it was the first. We've had buzzer beaters in the Final Four. We've never had a buzzer beater where the team that was trailing hit the buzzer beater. So we've had the tie. Chris Jenkins, the game was tied. The famous NC State one against Houston, the Jim Valvano, that was a tie game.
What was the Christian Laettner one?
Christian Laettner was a tie game as well. So they're all they were all tie games. I don't know if Laettner, that wasn't Final Four, I don't think.
That was to get to the Final Four?
Yeah, that was
over
Elite
Kentucky?
Eight. Yeah. There was another one, I think Marquette in 77, I believe, was the other one.
92 Elite Eight.
Yeah.
Also, I will say, this is back-to-back games in that venue with buzzer beaters because Chris Jenkins 2016 ended that tournament.
Wild.
Good point, Jake.
Back-to-back
Wild.
buzzer beaters.
Well, there have been other games since then.
Not in that venue, college basketball.
Yeah, in Houston.
At all?
No, 7 years.
I don't think they played it in NRG Stadium yet.
Yeah,
That's
Phoenix
a wild
in 17,
stat.
San Antonio 18, Minneapolis 19, nothing in 20. 21 was the bubble, and 22 was
Love it.
New Orleans.
That is wild.
It's also cool walking in NRG Stadium because it's right next to the Astrodome.
Yes.
And they should open up the Astrodome to creepy sleepovers.
And high school sports.
Yeah, or you should be able to break into the Astrodome and just rummage through it like in a post-apocalyptic, like wolves rummaging through a garage sale. You should be able to take whatever you want out of the Astrodome.
I understand why they tear down old stadiums, but I wish they kept up more old stadiums.
Yeah, just sign a waiver.
Yeah. Like the Silverdome has now been fully taken down, but that should have stayed up and they should have, I know it doesn't make sense because it's tax money, all that shit. Don't tell me that. I don't care. That should the Michigan high school football championship be played at Silverdome every year.
Yep.
Like that would be cool if those old stadiums still had a purpose. But yeah, the Astrodome, because it's crazy to think that was the state-of-the-art dome in whatever it was, 70s, maybe even late 60s when it was built, and it just dwarfs in size compared to NRG.
It is crazy. That was a great game, though. It was a fantastic
Great game.
Well, it wasn't a great game, but the ending was fantastic.
It was
It
March.
was a good first. In the first half, people were like, "This is a much better game than people thought."
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, they
Yeah,
loosened
I mean,
up the
FAU
rim,
was-
which was great.
yeah.
Yes.
Also,
Yeah.
shout out
Points.
FAU. What a season.
Yeah, so FAU...
And they could all be back.
Yeah, so Dusty May signed an extension, which was cool. I think they invested some more money in the program. I think all their guys,
All
except
5
one,
starters are eligible to come back. The first guy he recruited, Forrest, I think we talked about him last week. He was the only senior. So, yeah, NIL would be the only thing that could get these guys away.
Yeah, and
Where else
it's-
would you want to be besides Boca? Like, I understand there's bigger programs. Like, you're not going to be in a better place to live.
Yeah, and they won. What was their final? 35-4.
Yeah.
Insane season. Dusty May, hell of a coach. Do draw up that play, Dusty May. If we ever have him back on, just I swear it would work. If there's 6 seconds differential, I know that San Diego State had a timeout, so they could call a timeout. But if you just get a ball on the rim as like the shot clock is expiring, it probably isn't like, and it's batted around even a little bit. You're in the championship game.
Well, is there a play that you can possibly run that's kind of like when players try to get their own triple-double at the end of a game?
Yeah, just chuck it off the rim.
Where you drive to the hole and somehow you lay it up off the rim and intentionally catch it and then kick it out.
Yeah.
You don't even try to score.
Or just throw it as hard as you can off the rim.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
just hope the ball bounces around enough that time expires.
Just slam it against the rim.
Yeah.
This is a great idea. We should be basketball coaches.
We should be basketball coaches. All right, so Jake, I'll get your full March Madness take after we talk about the next game. Let's talk about the next game. UConn completely destroys Miami. I know that the final score was maybe a little bit closer.
13, but
13.
they were never in the game. If it was 9-0 to start or
Miami
something.
never had a lead. There was a couple spurts that Miami had where, it was like, watch out for Miami, and UConn completely squashed that. They are on a dominant run. So a couple stats. One is they're 16-0 against non-conference opponents. Crazy. They just so they played back-to-back. Miami was the 5th rated offense in Ken Pom. They held them to 59 points. They were scoring 79.1 points per game. Gonzaga was the first offense in Ken Pom. They were scoring 86.1 points per game. They scored 54. So they held their last 2 opponents to 20 plus points, 30 for Gonzaga, less than their season average. They also are the 5th team to enter the national championship game that has won every single game on their path by double digits. So 2000 Michigan, 2001 Duke, 2009 UNC, 2016 UNC, 2018 Villanova, 2016 UNC, the only one to not win the title. Chris Jenkins shot.
Yeah.
And remember the 2018 Villanova team, like that was,
They
They
dominated.
just dominated
too, yeah.
absolutely everyone. And then Sonogo is the 4th player in 40 years to average 20 points with 65% shooting. Crazy.
Yeah, and he did it on Ramadan
He was
with the late sunset in Central Time.
they have so many options on offense and defense, and like they can play inside, they can play outside, they hit all their big shots. They are on just an absolute tear of a run. They also are going for the point differential crown. So they're plus 103 right now in the tournament. The UNC was plus 104. The only 3 teams better. UNC in 2009 plus 104. Kentucky 96 plus 120. Duke 99 plus 126. Duke 99 lost to UConn.
Editor's note, in 2016, Villanova had a point differential of plus 121, which is also higher than UConn's point differential in 2023.
So it might be a foregone conclusion that UConn's going to win this.
I think most stats are
people
pointing to them
saying
being
that they're going to win. I'll just say I'll count this. I won't use the Mickey Mouse word if they beat Miami and Dan Hurley's son scores a point. That's my bar for victory. That's the true
Shout out
victory.
Andrew Hurley.
Shout out Andrew Hurley. Get him in the game. Get him a good look, coach. Draw something up for him. But yeah, UConn's been utterly dominant. There was a point in the game where Miami got it back to 10, and every time they would get it back to 10, the crowd was like so energized because that felt like a tie.
Yeah.
Just being within 10 points of UConn. I know they shaved it a little bit closer after that at one point, but it would just be like, okay, they'd battle back to 10, and then 20 seconds later, UConn would be up 16.
And I know that people will be like, well, UConn's path has not been as difficult because Miami did play the toughest path
You play who you play.
Right, you play who you
Don't
play.
apologize, UConn.
Also, this is revisionist history because everyone said Gonzaga, they're playing lights out. Arkansas had just beaten Kansas. St. Mary's was one of those teams everyone was looking out for. And you beat them all by double digits. And none of the games have even been like a sweat. Like they haven't, besides Iona. Shout out Rick Pitino. He was the only, like the first half against Iona was probably the only time that UConn was sweating even a little bit.
What was the score at halftime in that game?
I think they were down 2.
Yeah.
1 or 2.
But that's how dominant they have been. And it's been incredible to watch. And I actually read an article, I think it was in The Athletic, that was like, this UConn team is so good, Dan Hurley only swore once during this game. It was like talking about how zen he is now. And it's like, no, he's still a psycho. He just trusts these guys so much that he doesn't have to be as much of a psycho.
Yeah, and he's wearing his lucky underwear every game. His wife was like, yeah, I don't know. I can't convince him not to wear it. But he's putting on the same pair of underwear for every single game.
And
he's definitely washing it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I would hope so. And then wasn't that the ref that he had?
Jeff Anderson, which you guys talked about in the interview.
Fucking clown.
Called him that December 28th against Villanova.
What did he call him?
And they paired him fucking clown.
Fudging clown.
I quote. But to piggyback off what you guys were talking about, Andrew Hurley, to put it in perspective, the walk-ons, he has played in all 5 tournament games.
Yeah, right.
He played in 2 Big East games.
Right.
He's played in 5 straight games because they've all been blowouts.
It's nuts.
They're shit pumping everybody. They're a goddamn wagon.
Like, walk-ons hope to play 1 tournament game. He got to play in all 5.
Yeah.
Maybe 6.
It's been I think that as chaotic as this tournament has been, and there's been a lot of hand-wringing, like college basketball sucks now because FAU and San Diego State got there, which shut up. We had Butler and VCU in 2011. Everyone remembers that fondly. So I don't really understand the difference. But if they can finish this run, we will remember it as UConn's tournament and how much they just absolutely crushed everyone.
I think in a weird way that's very good for the sport to have like a dominant team one year.
Yeah.
Because then you think back and you just, like you said, it's UConn. That was the year of UConn.
And 16-0 against non-conference opponents. Dan Hurley has said it, like once they got out of the Big East schedule, everything became a lot easier, and that has proven to be correct so far.
And we're officially crowning UConn a blue blood if they win this championship,
Agreed.
right?
Yes.
I think I don't know how you can argue otherwise.
They'd have 5 championships in the last 24 years. We are a Hurley podcast. We have Bobby Hurley coming up, which was a great interview. And then as for Miami, I mean, incredible season.
Yeah.
Jim Larrañaga seems like one of the most likable guys in the sport. I do not understand how Nigel Pack only had 1 pair of shoes. We had Shoegate in the middle of the
Shout out
game.
to the manager, AWL, who ran and got the shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Are we saying ran? It was like a brisk walk.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did like an acceptable.
Who hustled.
He hustled.
hustled.
He did an acceptable walk for someone, or run who's someone that's not an athlete.
Right. It's like when someone says like run over here to me, I'll like move my arms really fast.
But you don't want to look like a
I'm
fool.
running,
Yeah.
but I'm not. He hustled. And
Yeah.
I still don't
Jason
understand.
Hicks, Kane's Hoops
Shout out
head
Jason
manager.
Hicks.
Jason Hicks.
Yeah.
I don't understand how Nigel Pack only had 1 pair of shoes.
Yeah. It was
How is that
Fugazi.
possible?
It was. I don't know. I don't know how many pairs of shoes college kids travel with. I don't know how many they have in the locker room.
At least 2, I'd hope.
Yeah, it was. I need somebody to tell me how much hit. Was it Nike? Was it a pair of Nikes?
It was Adidas.
Adidas.
Right?
What stock hit did Adidas take because his shoes broke down?
Miami was never winning that game, but to have him on the sideline because he didn't have a pair of shoes is just an insane thing to have happen during a national semifinal game.
Yeah, in a game like that, you keep hoping and waiting for a run. You keep hoping that Miami's going to really get it close and that we'll have something to root for going down the stretch. But that's just UConn's not going to give that up. UConn's too good.
Nope. Jake, are you finding it? It's Adidas, I
I'm
believe.
trying to confirm.
I believe it's Adidas.
Okay.
We are really going hard on UConn here. But I honestly, I don't see a way that San Diego State beats them. If they do, would this be the most shocking upset in NCAA tournament history?
You'd probably have to go with, I think they're sponsored by Adidas.
Besides Fairleigh Dickinson.
I mean, you'd probably have to go with the Villanova versus Georgetown, right? Like
that 85?
I think that was like a 10-point spread. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, but yes, it would be up there. It would absolutely be up there.
Yeah, in terms of
but San Diego
championship
State's
games.
really fucking good.
They are.
They are really, really good. And I don't think, obviously I want UConn to win, but for my own wallet, but I do think, I wouldn't be shocked if we're watching this game on Monday night and it is a close game.
Listen, at the end of the day, it's the tournament.
Yeah.
So like
anything can happen.
Yeah,
And it
literally
could be
anything could
lights out
happen.
for a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I just need, you know what I would like is just to have like some doubt in my head going into it. I would like even if it was a fake report came out that said UConn's players all have the flu today. I just want somebody to say
Jordan
that.
Hawkins, who by the way had a wedgie, interviewed him about that.
By the way, kind of putting us all at risk because you did interview him.
Yeah. Sorry.
That was the first thing that came in my head.
Did you wear a
Jake
mask?
was like
I did not
6
wear
inches
it.
from his face
And
I
you-
had to
and
get
you-
the answers that people wanted.
You weren't
and
masked
get us
up.
the flu.
I'm putting myself at risk for the answers for the
And
people.
us.
So
And
he
you
wa-
guys.
he
Okay.
was sick, but he then wasn't sick during
I
the
think
game.
it was non-COVID illness.
Yeah,
right?
no, he was fine. I mean,
But-
everyone's like, is he going to play? Oh my God. It's like, dude, it's the Final Four.
My
He's playing.
entire life is a non-COVID illness.
Yeah,
He said
right.
that wedgies are more embarrassing than air balls, which
Oh, wow.
I was surprised by.
That's a big
I
statement.
Yeah.
disagree.
Yeah, same.
The only reason that you could make the argument that it is because the game stops. So
yeah.
everyone's like,
Because of
what
your
the fuck,
shot.
dude?
Well, if the crowd comes up with a wedgie chant that they all yell simultaneous at
Yeah.
you like they do for an air ball, then I'll start to believe it. But until that happens, I think the air ball is the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
Also, air balls can go out of bounds.
Air balls can go out of bounds.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a fact. All right. So, Jake, give us your March Madness recap from Jack Links. We all have a wild side. Feed it with meat. Eating Jack Links lets you unleash your inner beast. Feed your wild side with Jack Links. Tremendous, tremendous beef jerky. We had it all tournament long. Go check out some Jack Links now. We even had our great smash room with Sasquatch. So shout out Jack Links. They went above and beyond to make this a great tournament for us. And it was already a great tournament because we were eating Jack Links. So what do you got for, do
Yeah.
you think, go ahead. Just
Yeah, I mean,
go
at the
wherever
end
you
of the
want.
day, this is obviously being recorded before the champion is crowned. But like the three big takeaways from this, if UConn finished it off, their dominant performance will be remembered forever. This tournament had an all-time upset. This tournament had an all-time shot or two with Furman and last night with SDSU. So you have the small moments, you have the big upset, and if UConn wins, it's total dominance. So like there's plenty of takeaways from this tournament, no matter how it ends.
Yeah.
Of you when you think of 2023 NCAA tournament, FDU, Furman, UConn, San Diego State buzzer beat in the Final Four.
Now,
right? Like,
are you as confident as we are in UConn?
I think on paper, yes, but like I said, the tournament's the tournament, and that's the only thing where I'm a little hesitant.
The fact that the tournament is the tournament.
Right, because just as you are sure about something, the other thing happens.
Yeah.
Like it's one game.
Would you eat your column if
Would I eat
UConn
my
lost?
column?
Or would you eat this podcast?
Sure.
You'll
Okay,
eat this
you'll eat
podcast.
this
Make
podcast.
an
So we'll get
edible
it put
part
on
of
a
my
chip.
take logo or
No,
chip.
no, we'll get
No.
We'll get it put on a chip.
Yeah, we'll get an edible
on,
chip.
on an SD card.
Okay, I'll
Yeah,
make it
it's-
edible though. I
and
don't want to
yeah.
get sick.
Yes, it'll totally be edible
Yeah,
for sure.
we have the
So
technology
if,
to make an edible chip.
SDSU
We'll
wins,
give
I
you
have
an
to eat a chip.
a super edible microchip that you'll then have to swallow and pass.
If SDSU wins.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
Jake will eat this podcast.
Yes.
Yes.
Eat it whole.
You guys will be upset too. So
Yeah, no, I'll be very
yeah,
upset.
exactly.
I will be
So
very, very
we'll
upset.
be- now, yeah,
Nothing
we go.
against San Diego State personally. It's just business.
yeah,
Yeah.
But you
I
guys
would
agree
like
though,
to
right?
win a
Like,
future at some point in my life.
this tournament, you had small moments, you had big moments.
Yeah, no,
like,
I think it's been fantastic.
delivers
I-
every year.
And I just never understand, like, people just show up in March and they're like, this product sucks. Like, go watch something else then. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah, I don't think that San Diego is going to be that upset. I don't think they listed a podcast in San Diego.
We had some memes and when we were up top. We had some San Diego State fans saying what's up to us.
And shout out to Coach Velasquez, assistant coach of San Diego State,
Yes.
EWL. He
Yeah.
said,
oh,
I
that's,
didn't-
he does listen.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
he said, I don't know what was more likely, SDSU making the Final Four or Hank hitting the lottery ball. And he said, well, here we are in the Final Four.
Some of us predicted San Diego State to go to the Final Four.
That's true.
On this side of the table, I've never once predicted Hank would get the lottery ball.
That's true. Also true.
I think it's way more unlikely that
Also
Hank
true.
gets the lottery ball.
Also true. All right, should we talk a little women's championship game? So
Yeah.
LSU, congrats to them. Kim Mulkey showing up in her Tiger business suit, I guess it was.
Yeah, no, she looked great.
She did.
When I was looking at her, I was like, that looks like if Amy Poehler played Adriana from The Sopranos.
Yes, I like that.
All right, would.
yeah.
Just hand up, would.
Kim Mulkey.
Yeah.
LSU was fantastic, by the way. They dominated that game. I know there was some ref stuff, which one of them was the
Caitlin
Caitlin Clark
Clark tech.
technical foul was
Jinx.
absolutely bullshit.
It was insane. She threw the ball behind her back. It went out of bounds. Nobody tuned into that game to watch the refs. We tuned in to watch Kim Mulkey's outfits. But no, Kim was like on the court getting in the way of the refs, and then they give Caitlin Clark a technical foul for throwing the ball out of bounds behind her back, not even while looking at the ref. She wasn't like showing off the ref. She was just throwing it out of bounds. And the worst part about that play, it was at the exact same time that Zanino got her fourth personal foul.
Yes.
They're big, they're center, and she's dominant when she's got the ball in her hands in the paint. She got her fourth foul, and then simultaneously, Caitlin Clark gets teed up for her fourth foul. And then at that point, the comeback, if it had any chance whatsoever, it was over. But all the credit goes to LSU in the first half. They shot 9 for 12 from 3 from the first half. And they were a shitty three-point team in this tournament coming into this game. And they went 9 for 12 in the first half. They were hitting bank shots. Carson came off the bench and had, I think she was 5 for 5 from 3.
Well, they basically, Iowa on Friday night beat South Carolina by daring them to take threes.
Yeah.
Who was undefeated.
And packing the paint. And it seemed like that was kind of what they were doing again. And LSU was like, no, we'll take these threes.
Yeah. We need to figure out a way, because, I mean, the LSU was going to win regardless of what the refs were going to do because they were that good
But
tonight.
they did suck.
But the refs were awful. They called, I think it was 10 more personal fouls in this championship game than any other women's championship game in history.
That's
insane.
insane.
It was bad. It was bad officiating from start to finish. And it kind of did go both ways. They had some bullshit calls against Iowa too. Or on Iowa. They had bullshit calls on Iowa and on LSU.
Yeah.
So it wasn't exactly one-sided, but it did seem that they, giving their two best players 4 fouls at the same time, that pushed it over the edge.
And it felt like one of the biggest championship games in the women's tournament. We also get the after effect of people arguing class online. So Angela Reese, is that
Angel
who?
Reese.
Angel Reese for LSU. As clock was expiring, went and did the John Cena "You Can't See Me" and then pointed to her ring finger in Caitlin Clark's face. And then everyone erupted in having a "Is this classless? Way to stay classy. This is bullshit" debate online. I want to hear your take, PFT, but I'll just say point blank, if you are genuinely calling things classless and getting upset and saying get some class, you've already kind of lost.
Yeah, if you say stay classy in the year 2023,
You've lost.
Go back to 2009
Yeah.
and then use that phrase. It's sports. You just won the championship. You're allowed to show as little class as you want. That's the one time when you can do anything. You can dump a Gatorade bucket on your coach and you can ruin their clothes. That's still very there's no such thing as classless and classy.
Yes.
At that time, you're allowed to celebrate however you want because guess what? You just won. Now, I do think that doing the John Cena motion at a time when you just put another team's season to death, there's a time and a place for that.
That's
Maybe
true.
we shouldn't make a
That's
joke
true.
about that in
That's
that
true.
in that given situation. But I thought it was awesome. Caitlin Clark did it when she won.
That's
the thing about having like a signature celebration where you might be a little bit disrespectful to your opponent. If you put it out there, good for you. But then you're also not allowed to be mad when somebody does that to you.
It's if you shit talk and you have something that you're doing to someone else, and then it turns on you and you lose a game, you have to expect it coming back to you. Now, Angela Reese, it was a little weird how she stalked Caitlin Clark around. Here's why. Because it was as the clock was ticking down and her teammates were all celebrating, that go celebrate with your team. Don't, follow a player around. But in terms of classy, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
It's sports. You shit talk, you get shit talk. It all happens. I bet you Caitlin Clark had no problem with it. I actually think this is a win, though, for women's basketball because seeing all these people upset online, that's just fans upset that their team lost.
Yeah.
And if they're upset their team lost, they cared enough, and that's good for women's basketball because at the end of the day, it's kind of like, what was the other one we were talking about? Oh, Creighton fans. We know how this game works. If you are a sports fan, you are psycho. And I count myself as one. We're all sports fans in this room. You're psycho. When you have a bad loss, when you have a demoralizing moment, you act irrationally, you act angry, you lash out. Those things happen. So I don't think anyone who's calling her classless right now, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, how could you? It's just how they're coping. And I bet you tomorrow when they wake up or a week from now, they'll be like, yeah, that was kind of dumb that I argued online for 2 hours about class of a fucking "you can't see me" motion.
Listen, we are a very pro-woman podcast on this show.
The most.
We love women.
I
love women.
Yes.
And over the years,
My favorite child is a woman.
there you go. My mom, some of my best moms are women.
Yeah.
Over the years, there's been a discussion in women's sports because it has been underrepresented sometimes. You don't get to watch as much of it on TV. There's been a good conversation about just supporting women's athletics. Now we're making the next step where we stop cheering for every team and we're like, I fucking hate that shit. Which I actually think is good because we're having the debate about it like we would about men's sports.
It was the moment that it hit me was Friday night when I read the tweet of someone saying, Iowa's a bunch of pussies for packing the paint on South Carolina. And I was like, yes, this is good.
Yeah.
We're calling random people pussies just because we're mad how they're playing defense. Like this is the next step.
Some of the
we're just irrationally angry online about the women's tournament. That's great.
Yes. One of the best ways to truly support women's sports is by hating women that are playing on a team that's playing against your favorite team.
Yes. Exactly. To get very upset about your team losing.
Yeah.
Or very happy when your team wins.
It's called fandom. And having rivalries like that is great for the sport.
Agreed. So shout out to women. Caitlin Clark was incredible. I mean, that tournament run, I saw the stat. She scored more points, I think, in the NCAA tournament than Iowa's football offense this year. She back-to-back 40s.
That's an unbelievable stat.
Yeah, back-to-back 40s. What'd she have today? Like 33?
30.
Yeah, 30.
All-time record.
She was awesome. And she's got 2 more years, right? She might go to the WNBA.
I think so. I don't know. She might make more money having NIL at Iowa.
Yeah. Okay, but COVID
Maybe
year.
2 more years.
Yeah. So credit to Kim Mulkey for, I'm sure she pointed out to the refs before the game because they were calling it very strictly. Her push-off move that she does to get open for a 3 sometimes off the dribble, they were calling that against her. They called it, I think she got 2 of those called in the first half. And Kim Mulkey looked like she was having a seizure. She was so happy when they called that.
Yes.
But I mean, that was probably the difference right there, is getting her into foul trouble early and getting Zanino into foul trouble early. And then their third score, hitting shots for the wing. I forget, but she was in foul trouble too. I think they had like 4 starters that were in severe foul trouble with about like 9-10 minutes left.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
It
start the fourth
ruins
quarter.
the championship game.
It did take some of the shine
That technical
off of
being
it.
her 4th was a big factor too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I mean, that
huge.
was the worst technical call.
You knew that it was ball don't lie because Reese went up there and she bricked the two
of them,
technical free throws.
Yeah. Okay, let's do Who's Back of the Week. Then we got Bobby Hurley. Who's Back of the Week is brought to you by our friends at Coors Light. Sometimes the days can get so crazy that you forget to make time for fun. When that happens, you've got to choose to chill. So go ahead, say yes to midweek happy hours and catching the game after work. And while you're at it, enjoy an ice-cold Coors Light, the beer that's made to chill. There's only one beer out there that's literally made to chill, and that's Coors Light. The mountains on the bottles and cans even turn blue when your beer is cold. That way you always know when it's time to chill. When you're making time to chill, crack open a Coors Light. It's mountain cold refreshment made to chill. When you choose to chill, pair your plans with an ice-cold Coors Light. I'm going to chill tomorrow. We got one day to chill before we're going to stream the national title. I might have a Coors Light in the afternoon. Maybe play some golf with the boys. So when you choose to chill, pair your plans with ice-cold Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/take. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Coors Light, the coldest, most refreshing beer in the world. Okay, who's back of the week? PFT. No, let's start with Jake because Hank's not here. Which we'll get to later. After we finish this, you can go do the Titus show.
Okay.
And I want Max. We're going to have Max in the middle for after Bobby Hurley because we have a question for him.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. My Who's Back of the Week is peace, labor peace. The NBA has a new labor deal and a CBA, and there's some things that are notable.
Shit,
that
this
I want
was my
to...
Who's Back. God damn it.
Oh, I'll take another one.
No, go for it. Go for it. Go. I'll add on to it.
So things we need to be paying attention to. Games played for minimum for awards. Players have to play 65 games to be eligible to win MVP.
I like it.
So load management, we might not be seeing that as much.
The 65 most important games of your season.
Yeah. Another one, an in-season tournament.
Boo. But, okay. I don't like change as a person. Just point blank, don't like change. Anything that changes like day to day, I'm like, oh, this sucks. Like when I have to get on a flight, I'm like, fuck this. I want to sit on my couch. Change sucks. And then I always go somewhere and I have fun. I hate this, but I think it will probably be good.
Yeah.
So what are the benefits?
They're
going to
count as regular season games.
Right. So the
winning team gets $500,000 per player. So that's the incentive.
So $500,000 per player. It's pool play in November and December, and then they get to a final 8, and then they play a tournament.
Final 4 neutral site in Vegas.
Yeah. So final 8, then the final 4. The winner would only have to play one extra game. Essentially the NBA was like, how can we make it so that LeBron gets more rings so he can feel like he's better than Jordan? Let's make a made-up trophy in the middle of the season.
It's kind of like the Maui or Battle for Atlantis.
Yeah.
It counts. You get a trophy.
Yeah, I think you're probably the same with me, PFT, where you're like, this is stupid.
I don't like it. I don't like it. Now, however, if a team that I'm rooting for wins that tournament, then I'm going to be like, hang the banner up. And some would say that it's harder to win the midseason tournament than the in-season tournament.
Right. And essentially, like, don't like change, but when it starts happening, the NBA season, regular season is long. It's boring at times. It means nothing at times.
Yeah.
So this will be something in the middle of the season where you're like, oh, this means something a little different.
Well, that's exactly what this is. It's the NBA admitting that their regular season is way too long.
Correct.
It's like, why don't we have 2 playoffs? That's
So
2 seasons.
they have admitted that and then added an extra game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's free agent spending changes, and also marijuana is no longer prohibited.
Yes. No
That's
more
the
weed
other
testing.
Okay.
Yeah. And what you said, one and done? One and done stays.
I didn't read those
Which is the
details, but
funniest thing
yes.
that people always blame colleges for.
Yeah.
It's like that's an NBA rule.
Now,
Yeah.
isn't it also a rule now that players can do advertisements for cannabis companies and for gambling companies?
Ooh, I
or
don't
did I
know
get
about that.
April fooled on that?
I think you got April Fool's.
I don't
I feel
know.
like
It's from
gambling would
Shams.
not be
I feel like
okay
Shams is
for
not
that stuff.
Shams not an April Fool guy, right? If you're Shams or if you're Schefter and you put out a semi-believable report like that,
Yeah.
I think it might be a real report.
Maybe. That would be cool.
I've always said the NBA needs more weed in it.
Yeah.
Now that J.R.
I'm
Smith's
looking-
gone.
I see some gambling talk, but yeah. Shams, league's new CBA will give players the ability to invest in NBA and WNBA teams, as well as promote and or invest in sports betting and cannabis companies.
Okay.
And that's the real Shams.
Wow. That's the real Shams.
That seems like a big deal to me.
That is a big deal.
That they'll be able
Yeah,
to
that's
promote
interesting.
gambling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. PFT, your who's back?
My who's back of the week is Brooks Koepka.
Yes.
Brooks. Shout out Brooks. He won. He's hot. He's the hottest golfer in the world going into Masters Week. He's back. He won on the LIV Tour. He battled off Patrick Reed to finish first place in Orlando. So shout out Brooks. Also, it sounds like the LIV Tour, they're making this into an us versus them thing a little bit, because they said today that at Augusta, if a LIV golfer wins, I also heard, by the way, that LIV is taking an idea that we did an interview with Shane Bacon, and we talked to him a little bit about the LIV versus PGA. And we talked about the idea that the LIV Tour could give just like an added bonus purse if one of their golfers wins Augusta. I think that's happening. I think the LIV Tour is actually doing that. But also they said, Greg Norman said, if a LIV golfer wins the Masters, all 17 other members will be on the 18th green making an appearance to congratulate them.
Look at that.
Patrick Reed, great teammate, showing
There's
up for everybody.
no way if Phil Mickelson misses the cut, he'll be there.
No, they're bouncing.
Yeah, they're bouncing. Yeah, so Brooks is back. For some reason, people think that we have a beef with Brooks. We definitely don't.
No, I'm rooting for Brooks.
We're rooting for him. We're not only rooting for him, we were actually going to have him on. We have a Masters preview coming Wednesday with Shane Bacon, like PFT said, and also a pump up for Max Homa, who's going to be on the show. We tried to get Brooks on for it. His schedule didn't work out because we were traveling on Thursday and his only day open was Thursday. But he texted me. He said he's coming on whenever. So hopefully he wins the Masters and we can have him on right after. Or if not, we'll have him on in the following weeks.
It would be good for golf if
Yeah.
Brooks won the
Max and
Masters.
Brooks in the final group.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be
I don't
great.
know. I'd have to wear like a split jersey like Mrs. Kelsey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can't make
Cook those up.
don't make me choose. I have another who's back of the week.
Okay.
Aaron Hernandez.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
No, it's his brother this time, Dennis Hernandez. So Dennis Hernandez.
Is that the one that sold a play sheet?
I'm not sure if he did or not. That
There was-
doesn't sound like the Dennis I know.
One that stole a play sheet that like kind of ruled. Like they left their play sheet and he just took it.
Yeah, you should do that.
Yeah.
You should do that. Don't leave your play sheet out. But Dennis Hernandez, he's up in Bristol, Connecticut. He took an Uber to ESPN headquarters and then threw a brick through the window.
Yes.
And on the brick,
Okay, I like this.
he wrote a
Hernandez.
note to all media members. It's about time you realize, spelled REALEYES. Realize.
Yeah.
The effect media has on all family members. Since you're a worldwide leader, maybe you could lead how media and messages are delivered brick by brick. because it was on a brick. Clean it up.
Shout out Brick Watches.
And then he signed it, yours truly, Dennis J. Hernandez.
Okay, so
And then somehow they tracked down the guy that did this.
whoa, so
Excellent police work by the Bristol Police Department.
yeah, I'll just counterpoint real quick. Murderers also have an impact on people's families
In the real world.
in the real world.
Yes.
Like, I'll just say that, like those people who have lost a loved one, that definitely has an impact.
Multiple murderers.
Yes, multiple murders. So,
Allegedly.
yeah,
Actually, no, he wasn't overturned.
I'm pretty sure he was convicted.
Yeah, but I think it gets overturned because he was in the process of appealing it.
Oh,
So the fact that he offed himself means that his trial was never concluded.
got it.
It was a hung jury.
Got it. Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, so Aaron Hernandez
the
is
Hernandez
back.
family is back.
Is back.
At long last.
All right, I don't have a who's back because Jake stole
Sorry.
mine. No, that's okay. Stop apologizing.
But I
I'm
have
joking.
more.
I don't.
So what?
Jake,
Oh, you have
give
more,
him
so
your
give
backup
unload
who's
them real
back.
The
quick.
Lakers.
Oh, what are they?
Oh, yeah.
They are climbing up the West.
This is a very
standings.
ESPN thing to do. If the Lakers win a game, are the Lakers a threat?
My Timberwolves choked to 17. They were 17-point favorites
Tough.
to the Blazers.
Tough.
And they lost.
Tough.
So seeds 4 through 10 right now are separated by 4.5 games.
Damn.
And Lakers are right there at 8.
Are the Lakers back?
They have LeBron and AD.
Ratings.
Listen, they get out there.
It's
They
rigged
play.
against. It's
Yeah.
rigged against Minnesota. Can you imagine if the Lakers take your spot in the playoffs? The fucking Lakers,
Yeah.
who took your name, take your spot in the playoffs, is rigged against Minnesota.
Oh, I know my who's back. Elon being a master troll. So there was like Elon basically with Twitter, and I respect the hell out of it. Every like 2 months he announces a big change, and then a bunch of people on Twitter complain that Twitter is dying.
Where do they complain about it?
On Twitter.
Yep.
And they're like, I met some of my best friends here, and like this app has changed my life. If this is truly the end, come follow my Substack. And then the next day they wake up and they just tweet again. So the latest one was he said that all legacy blue check marks are getting taken away. And he didn't. We still have ours. I think he just basically made everyone panic and buy Twitter Blue.
Yeah.
He did take away New York Times, but he then said we're gonna phase it out, so we might still lose ours. He's like, but if anyone says that they're not gonna pay, we're gonna take it away.
I think that I think it's basically kind of an April Fool's joke on everybody.
Yeah, it was on April Fool's.
And then if you start complaining about it, then he's like manually taking away people that don't like his check.
Yes.
And if you buy a company, honestly, if you spend $44 billion on a company, you should be allowed to like make whatever tiny, minuscule, petty changes you want to it just to piss off people that don't like you.
But it's-
you spent $44 billion, and I think it's worth like $20 billion now.
Yeah.
So he's lost $24 billion just so that he can be petty online. I say that's worth it.
It's kind of a genius business plan. Like, what if we said this is the last episode of Part of My Take ever? So go buy a T-shirt,
Yeah.
and they'll be gone forever.
It's like a boxer fake retiring after
Yeah,
every
we just
single
keep
fight.
saying it every week.
Or
We
Kiss,
won't do
when
that to people.
Kiss does a reunion tour every like 2 years. Some bands call it just a tour.
Yeah.
But Kiss is like, this is our last one, guys.
Yeah.
You'll never paint your faces again. Oh, guess what? We're going to be back at the casino in Washington, Pennsylvania.
Let's not
next
make
year.
fun of that because I actually was talking to Hank a couple weeks ago. I was like, someday, like in 20 years, we should just do like a money grab and just do a tour. Mm-hmm. So we will do that.
Yeah.
Just so everyone be ready. Save a little money for that. We'll be going to 40 different cities in America. The elderly tour of Pardon My Take. It'll be right after we split up for some salacious reason that we made up, so that way the tour means even more.
Billy killed one of us.
Yeah, Billy killed one of us, so we'll have hologram PFT or hologram Big Cat on the tour.
Come on out.
It'll be sick.
Also, a hands up, I took the bait on Twitter Blue.
You
bought it?
I thought I was losing my check mark. I wanted
This
it.
motherfucker paid for Twitter.
I wanted to keep my check mark. I'm a big J.
Oh, he got your ass.
He got me.
Yeah.
I'm not
got your ass.
gonna hide from it.
Big Jake.
I have to keep my check
This
mark. I'm a big J.
motherfucker
Come on.
paid for Twitter Blue.
Yeah.
But if everyone can pay for it, it doesn't mean anything anymore.
I know.
You
but
get
like-
that part, right?
Yeah. But
No,
like,
but it's still a
I
blue
need I need a check mark. Come on. Like in high school, like I always wanted a blue check mark.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to just lose it.
Yeah, well.
So I paid for it. All right. I'm not
All
ashamed.
right.
All right. Have a great rest of the show.
You're
There's a lot-
dismissed, Jake.
There are a
Thank you,
lot of
Jake.
people out there like Jake, I think.
Yeah. No, he made a lot of money, I'm sure.
Yep.
It was genius. Okay. Thank you, Jake. Let's get to Bobby Hurley. Great interview with Bobby Hurley. And then after Bobby Hurley, we'll finish with the lottery ball, which we already taped. And I have a question for Max. Just for Men is our wonderful sponsor. One Day Beard and Brow Color is the first temporary brush-in, wash-out color from Just for Men, the beard color experts. It's a breakthrough dye-free formula, easily and instantly eliminates grays with natural-looking temporary color, fills in thin, patchy areas, and defines your beard for a thicker, fuller look. Now, any guy can easily transform their look anytime you want your beard to look its best. For interviews, dates, going out to bars, meetings, parties, weddings, events, podium moments, profile photos, or your big podcast just isn't for ears anymore. That's us. Watch us on YouTube. You just brush in lightly, let it set, and you're good to go. I was using it all March Madness. My beard was looking great. Got those grays out, got the patchy out, looked fuller, more manly. That is thanks to Just for Men One Day Beard and Brow Color. Try new One Day Beard and Brow Color today. It's super easy to use. Like I said, you just brush it in, you wash it out at the end of the day, you look better, you feel better, you got more confidence. That's what Just for Men does for you. So any guys out there who have the patchy, gray hair, whatever it may be, get that fuller looking beard with One Day Beard and Brow Color from Just for Men. Okay, here he is, Bobby Hurley. Okay, we now welcome on a very special guest. It is head coach of the Arizona State Sun Devils, also legend of the Final Four, won 2 titles, been here 3 times. It's Bobby Hurley. We're sitting here. Let's set the stage because we're going to run this on Monday. So it's Saturday morning before the Final Four.
Yeah.
So let's just hope everything goes well tonight because we're going to run this on Monday. Do you want to do a prediction both ways and we can cut out the one that's wrong?
Yeah, let's start with the other game here, the first game, right? Which is at FAU and San Diego State. FAU's like one of those great stories like that the tournament's built on, right?
Yep.
All these underdogs and just a mid-major that's kind of flown under the radar and gotten all the way. So happy for those guys. I've had a chance to play against San Diego State quite a bit, and they're a really hard-playing team, hard-nosed team. So I like San Diego State to advance in the first game.
And
I think
if that's
it'll be
wrong,
a low,
we'll cut that.
low-scoring, tight game.
Okay.
They're a very good defensive team.
Yeah, and then obviously your brother's game. How nervous are you? Because like you can't control anything. Are you? Is it feel like a game day for you?
Yeah, like it's starting to kick in now, the reality of it and stuff. Yesterday, I was really busy doing things here for the Final Four and got to see Dan last night and spend time with him, and just he was already a bundle of nervous energy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's starting to really resonate now. What's at stake for him and for the family to see him do this on this stage. It's just it's so cool. So just want to see him keep it rolling, man. I was in Vegas with him for those 2 games, and they were so dominant. So just hoping that they're somewhat of a version of that team that I saw in Vegas for 2 games.
Yes.
Have you reached out to him at all with any like actual basketball advice, anything you've seen on tape, or is that just like an understanding, like this is your team, you got it? Like, if you saw something, would you let him know? Be like, hey, I think I see something with this guy's defense, how he switches off.
No, I don't want to cloud his mind and his judgment, and I trust it. We watch each other's teams like every game, so I think I know UConn as well as anybody in the country, what they do, how they're built, what they're trying to do out there. But as far as trying to give him any advice in that direction, no. I haven't even. I watched Miami play like twice this year.
Yeah,
I mean he's probably watched like 20 games. Right? He's crazy about just his film study and preparation.
So what about your dad though? Because I would imagine, obviously, your dad, legendary high school basketball coach, probably the best of all time. Does he have like one play that he's been holding for like? If any of my sons get to the Final Four, like I'm going to show them this play. Like I've never shown anyone this play. It got in my mind. Did he have anything like that? I would like to imagine he did.
Well, I mean, I that's a good idea, but I didn't really think of that. For me to present that to Dan, I have a few in my pocket that I use only for special occasions. But yeah, I didn't hear anything regarding that with my dad.
Blows the dust off the play, takes it off a high shelf.
Yeah,
it's the pick and roll.
Yeah, and also here's a little tip. Media tip from our side, like if they go on to win the national title, either you or Dan should say, oh yeah, our dad gave us this play, and just pick the best play of the game and just be like, yeah, that he gave it to us, and then they'll just write stories and everyone will be like, oh my god,
yeah, just to pay tribute to our dad.
Right,
of course.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I read that Dan's rocking the same underwear every game. in this tournament? Is his lucky underwear, I guess?
Yeah.
It's got cartoons on it. Is he a superstitious guy when it comes to stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, he had stuff he was doing when I coached with him at Wagner and Rhode Island, where he would eat M&Ms every day. He would just have to have a pack of M&Ms. I don't know. He would always go rest right before the game. I remember one game at Wagner, it was getting close to when the game was about to start, and his office was pitch black, and he was like under his desk laying down and stuff. So it's just, I think he goes into a really dark place sometimes to get himself really amped to coach. But that was one time that his meditation might have went over the top a little bit.
He told us when we had him on Monday, he said that it's good that there isn't like a lot of tape of you guys at Wagner together, because you guys would just give the refs like everything. Was there ever a moment where like, would you do like a tag team like wrestling? It's like, no, you get him, like, or he'd get kicked out and you'd be like, well, now you got to deal with the other Hurley.
Yeah, like I got like 3 T's there as an assistant
As an
coach.
assistant, that's
So
right.
and then he would like give me like a death stare.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious, man? It's hard enough me controlling my emotions, and now you're getting them too. So but it was back and forth. We would, and I was like, I knew I couldn't be like him, and he was the guy that's on the front line doing it. But I was like behind the scenes, really during timeouts, messing with those guys.
Yeah. Right.
I was just working towards the future because I knew I'd be a head coach soon, so I had to make sure I get my game right.
Well, so that, like, those years, Wagner and then URI, obviously you guys had the first year at URI wasn't easy. Was it, when you decide I want to go into coaching and I'm going to be my little brother's assistant coach, was there like a little humble pie that you had to eat, or was it you guys are tight enough that this is going to work?
It was big time humble, yeah. And it was all about Dan, and we talked quite a bit and about him taking the job, and I don't even think he was 100% sure he was going to take it. He had a great situation at St. Benedict's. He had coached like Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith, all these guys, national program. But so it was a leap of faith to do it for him. But so I knew I was just going to come in and do, put my head down and work and just do whatever I had to do. I mean, I was in an office with 2 other guys, probably the size of this room. And,
right.
I was like, I had to mop out before practice down on the court. So like, big time humble. And we didn't have the resources that we both have now at Power Conference schools. So you're just wearing a lot of different hats.
Yeah.
That must have been, I don't know what your guys' relationship is like, but I can imagine that being an older brother and dealing with a younger brother like as your boss would have it might get awkward at times. You have to like have a little power struggle right up front. And like you said, like eat some humble pie. How was that relationship like as it grew and as you guys both kind of came up through the coaching ranks?
I mean, it was just like cooler just to be in those meetings, and then he and I just talking about basketball, talking about life, talking about our families. Just we had so much time to spend like in the office together, and we had been disconnected doing our own thing for years. So to get that time was really cool as brothers,
Yeah.
The time that wasn't great was recruiting meetings, I would say, with Dan, because Dan would get after it. He'd be very detail oriented. If you didn't make the necessary calls you were supposed to make to whatever kid in his circle, like he would know about it. If a recruiting situation was going south with a kid and we were losing the battle, it was some of those meetings were pretty ugly, just in terms of getting after it, just to make sure we get the players that we need.
Just a lot of yelling and the Hurley, like,
a lot
anger.
of stress, a lot of tension.
Are you a little jealous that he's got the scowl? Because you don't have the full scowl. He's got a scowl that's like it stops anyone in their tracks when he gives that like the chin out and everything.
Yeah.
You need you don't have the full scowl.
No, everyone has their own style. I think it's, mine is a little bit more like my head might explode, I think, is how
You
I
go
best
untuck,
describe
when
it.
you untuck the shirt, that's when it's on too.
I think it's when you get red. You
I
start to get
really
red. Yeah.
Yes. I really I internalize all my anger. Instantly. Yes.
Yeah, so as John Rothstein, our friend, calls you, his nickname is Bobby fucking Hurley.
Yeah.
Which is, I think it's a good nickname, but it's also kind of low effort, low energy on John's part to just drop the F-bomb in there. I think it's one of his worst ones. Do you have any feeling one way or the other of everybody calling you Bobby fucking Hurley?
Well, the one I don't like is when I lose a game or I screw something up and it's effing Bobby Hurley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
Also, you have
it
to
kind of
make sure that you're
backfires on me there.
phrasing
you know,
that
so,
correctly.
Yeah. Put a comma in there. Yeah. So I was curious about your playing days. I hate Duke. Just want to let that be
Well,
known.
I thought you had me here because of the affinity that you have for
No,
Duke.
yeah,
Is that
I hate
part of the
Coach
reason?
K. I hate him so much, but I didn't hate him as much when you were playing for him because it was still new. And that's actually my question: is like when you got to Duke, they had been to a couple Final Fours. They hadn't won it all, so it wasn't like full on Duke hate like by the public. What was the recruiting like? What was the decision? Who were you deciding between when you went to Duke? Like, was there other schools? Because you kind of were part of the growth of Coach K and the monster that we all had to deal with for many decades.
Well, I was a Big East guy, so grew up with the Big East in New Jersey. Two of my high school teammates that were seniors, Terry DeHare played in the NBA, Jerry Walker, both were going to go to Seton Hall. And we had agreed kind of together verbally that we were all going to stay together. We were national champions my senior year. Hey, let's go to Seton Hall and do it. I was also looking at Syracuse, Villanova, a lot, but primarily, Big East schools. My mom, big on education, loved Duke for that part of it. She wanted me to visit. I had talked to Coach K a few times, built a good enough relationship, but I just realistically didn't think I was going to go that far from home.
Right.
And my mom was like, you got to go on this visit. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. And I went and just was around Coach K, his family, saw how he interacted with the players. He had all the players at the house. It felt like a family thing. I watched Leitner play in pickup games. I'm a point guard. So I just kind of trusted my instincts. And Coach K, to be honest, he wore me out that weekend just with personal meetings, met with me, again, over and over multiple times about like what I would bring, what I would do at Duke and the whole deal. And I was pretty exhausted by the end of the weekend because my dad and my mom really didn't let me go out. I didn't have a social life in high school.
Right.
And now I'm on the Duke campus on a visit. I'm going out and I'm going to parties. I'm staying up late. So by the 48 hours is over, I'm exhausted. And now Coach K is going to fly on the plane with me back to New Jersey.
Okay.
So now he's on the plane with me still, hammering away.
Sounds
about going to
annoying.
Duke.
Sounds like an annoying guy.
The persistence was like insane. And then finally at that point, I'm like, this guy wants me badly there. I think it's the right place. So in my mind, I was like, I think I'm going to Duke.
Yeah.
So as Coach is now driving to my house, he's going to do another in-home visit. Now he's going to talk for another probably 2 hours about Duke with my parents. And so I grabbed my parents and brought them in the kitchen. And I was like, look, I'm going to Duke. I can't do this anymore. I can't listen to another recruiting pitch. But he sold it, and it was like probably the best decision I ever made.
Now it must
other than my wife.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
And the birth of your children. So it must have been weird too because your dad, obviously legendary coach. When you're going through the recruiting pitches, was there any pitch that you got where your dad was like, "This guy's full of shit. Like I'm a better coach than him."
Yeah, see, he just sheltered me from all the pitches. He would take all the calls, so no one could really get to me. And there were no cell phones. We had one phone in our house and stuff. So I think I got on the phone. I happened to pick up the phone one time, and it was I think it was Michigan on the phone, maybe like Steve Fisher or something.
Yeah, right.
But it was just random, that I would even answer the phone.
So you don't even know how much money you were being offered.
No one would go at my dad like that. They knew his credibility and stuff. And
right. It must have been intimidating for the coach's perspective to have to recruit a guy who's like his dad knows just as much about basketball as I do.
Look, he had Dean Smith going through there. He had all kinds of players before I even surfaced with my brother. So he knew the whole drill. He wasn't going to fall for any crazy
tricks.
shit.
Yeah. You were a great point guard. You still have the all-time record for most collegiate assists. I think that might be a record that's not going to be broken.
It's going to be tough
because we were
as long
talking
as you
the
get
other
through
day.
the COVID year,
COVID year, everybody got that extra stat padding asterisk.
But I'm
here.
not like the guys on the Dolphins or something where they just don't want
pop
to
champagne
lose.
at the end of every
record or
season.
whatever. If someone comes along and gets
you'd
it,
be a little mad.
Not really, though. How long have I had it? Over 30 years. So
yeah, it's been a while, but I think it's unbreakable. I'm going to say it's an unbreakable record.
Most likely because no one stays around long enough to try and break it.
Yeah.
Right.
Or they can't play enough NCAA tournament games to break it.
Or like you played, 4 years. You were starting right out as a freshman, so like it's hard to get all of that. Like guys who start as a freshman usually go to the pros.
And also having
right
Grant
away.
Hill and Christian Leitner able to make shots, that helps the assist total.
And then Coach K let me play my game. That's what he did, Even as a freshman, I broke the ACC record for assists in a single season my freshman year, and I broke the single season turnover record in the ACC too.
Like
So I
Brett
did a
Favre,
little bit of
interceptions and
both.
touchdowns.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a moment where you thanked Christian Leitner for being so hateable that people didn't hate you as much? Because if Christian Leitner wasn't there, like everyone would have hated you a lot.
Yeah, but he liked being hated, so
True.
he enjoyed being the villain.
Yeah.
So it was perfect for him.
Yeah. And you came early enough that, like, I think the Duke hate didn't start till a little bit later.
Yeah, like when we played was it Denver my freshman year? We got destroyed by UNLV. It was humiliating, humble. You said
In the
humbling,
Final Four.
In the Final
Yeah,
Four,
you lost by like 30.
We lost by 30.
Yeah.
And I was awful. I was like 1 for 5, had 4 turnovers. They were just throwing lobs, dunking, and I was the last guy back. I was always there, and they were dunking over me and stuff. And so it was humiliating. I had my friends back home in Jersey when I went home, like, yo, what did you do? How could you play like that? Are you serious? Like these Jersey people keep it real,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So it was tough off season, right? But getting back to that next Final Four, like everyone was like anti-UNLV because they were involved with the NCAA and stuff, and so and they were undefeated, unbeatable. So like in that arena that night when we took them down, like people were going nuts.
You guys were the underdog. Yeah, like people were like
the
plucky
underdog.
little Duke.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about.
Yeah. So it was like we were that team, and then we won the title, and the next year everyone hated us. It's flipped like that.
Yeah.
And it was like everyone, we were a target everywhere we went. Yeah.
What did you guys say when you were drawing up the play for Christian Leitner to hit that shot with 2 seconds left against Kentucky? What was that conversation like?
Well, I got screened, and then they shot a straight-on bank shot. Sean Woods did, and he made it. And I actually ran into Sean here. He's at the Final Four. We still communicate. Great guy, hell of a player at Kentucky. So they go up 2. I'm literally on the floor and walk on timeouts, but I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, there's no way we're done, right? But he was amazing at getting people and convincing people, Coach K was, that something could be done because he was able to recapture enough guys in the huddle to do what we did. And we practice game situations. Like we did that same play in practice. We rehearsed it. So it wasn't like that was the first time we did it, I was the second option going to half court, and Christian obviously was the primary. And
it's an iconic March Madness moment.
Yeah.
It's probably number one.
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, I wish that Gordon Hayward had hit that shot because that would have been number one, but it's number one. Yeah.
It was amazing. Yeah, that was some play too. Jeez, right?
Yeah.
We had one like that this year. I don't know if you guys
Oh,
saw it.
yeah,
At
against Arizona.
At
Yeah.
Arizona, yeah.
That was incredible.
That was a wild game.
That wasn't drawn up.
Look, I had no timeouts left. They were shooting 2 free throws. The ref said, hey, you got to have 2 guys on the free throw line to rebound the shot. It was a 2-shot foul. I grabbed 3 of my players and brought them over. I had a board. I said, you take it out. You set a screen. My leading scorer go up the sideline.
You get credit for that. Yeah.
Like some credit.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, 10% or
no, you get credit
5%.
for that. That was an
whatever.
incredible shot.
Yeah.
And it was like pure too.
Yeah, but the venom for me in Tucson is insane.
Yeah.
So for us to do it like that, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, you had the moment, it was a couple of years ago when you got ejected, you untucked the shirt, you're pumping up the crowd.
Yes.
I mean, that was vintage Bobby Hurley.
was-
Have you ever thought about slapping the floor? Like as you're going out, as you're getting ejected?
I've considered that at times on the sideline, not after the ejection. I got ejected this year at San Francisco. That one was tough too. It's a bad feeling. Everyone's screaming your name, "Get out of here, Hurley!" and you're sweating, and then you're like you're so angry, and then you got to go sit there, and then you're so lonely, and then you just got to say like, why did I just act like that?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I imagine-
Blacked out for a second.
Blacked out. Yeah.
There's a moment you sit down, you're like, well, I'm stupid.
Yeah, yeah. Can you tell though before a game? We actually were hanging out with Bob Huggins last night, and he actually said that you guys got into it once, which was very funny. Him retelling that because he was like, "I didn't do anything." He's yelling at me, but can you? He said he was like, "Yeah, there's some games where I just know like the refs, how they're calling the game, my mood." it's probably not going to go well tonight. Like I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get a tee, and I might get ejected.
Yeah, there was a game like that a few years ago. It was a neutral site game versus St. Mary's, and they're a very good program. And it was in Phoenix, and it was at the Suns Arena. And I didn't know who the assignment was because it was a neutral site. I didn't know who the refs were until about an hour before the game. And on the game were the two refs at that time that had thrown me out, and then the other ref was taken off a majority of my games because of just issues that we had. So that was the three guys on my game. So when I looked at that, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to survive this game.
Yeah, right.
I don't know how I'm going to make
This is
it through.
entrapment.
Yeah, right. Yeah. They're trying to bait me. They're baiting me to explode.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say who it was, but yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, we lost badly too. I think we lost by 20 to 30. It was
But I mean
ugly.
that type of coaches in college basketball are iconic. Like that because the players turn over every single year. Like that's what you remember about March Madness, and that's why I love both of you and your brother. Watching you guys, the passion, the anger, the scowls. It's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I think the players feed off it. Like they know we're invested.
Right.
You know, like you can't fake the passion. You either have it or you don't. And it's I have my son there. For me, he's kind of like my bodyguard. My son is on the team, and he knows when I'm about to lose it. And he'll come over and grab me. Say, come on.
It's like, I've seen this before.
Hey, we need you, man.
The
Come on
calming
back.
words to bring you back down a little bit.
Yeah, this looks like when I was like 10 years old and I didn't go to sleep. And all right, I see this coming. Yeah. That's smart. So you had obviously the accident when you went to the NBA. If for people who don't know, drafted 7th. 19 games, horrific car accident. Do you have, I know, I was reading a story that like every time that date comes up, it's a painful memory, but is there part of you that's like, hey, I was able to bounce back from this and still play in the NBA? And like the toughness that you showed, I don't think gets enough credit.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, I can't explain like where I was and just at the lowest possible level, just physically, mentally it was probably worse, just getting in a car again. I remember one of the first times I got in a car, someone beeped the horn at me. I was like so shaken up I just had to pull the car over. And so it was just like dealing with the aftermath of all that and the feelings you have with it. Physically, it's kind of a shell of myself. My left shoulder was just the biggest problem. Like I became a one-handed player in the NBA. I couldn't dribble do much with my left hand anymore. But yeah, I just, you gotta, I say like, everyone's got like a cross to bear. Like I had like a perfect life. It was like, go to Final Fours, win championships, then go to the NBA, you're, living your dream, the whole deal. And nothing, I had no like serious adversity. Nothing really bad happened to me. Everyone has bad things happen. So, I was due for mine, and it was, I think I've done the best I could with it. I think there was a lot of dark times. Like, I think my wife, Leslie, helped me tremendously when I was released from the NBA. I had to deal with the failure and go through that to figure out a way to be productive again, So I think it took me longer than I thought to get to coaching, but I mean, the relationships that you build with these kids. Like I had dinner with two of my former players here in town that are in town for the Final Four. Just seeing all the guys you coach playing in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like freaking Lou Dort.
Oh, the best.
Oh man, he's
torture
signed
chamber.
$90 million contract. I mean, I remember sitting in his living room in Montreal, Canada, with his family, and just he did it the hard way. And that dude is fierce, and he was one of my favorite guys to coach. And Lou was special.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like so humble. He'd be coming in like a lot of 5-star guys. They're like, they know everything. Don't tell me anything. I know it all, coach. But he was always, one of the most coachable, humble, nice kids. Big, strong guy, but like really like nice guy.
Yeah.
Like the only time I saw him get really, really mad was we won a game. I think we're at either Cal or Stanford, and we're getting on the bus and we're going to and we got California Pizza Kitchen for the guys, just a snack till we get to the hotel, to the next stop. And Lou was late because he had to do media stuff, and Lou ordered a butter cake from California Pizza Kitchen, and someone took his butter cake, and he was pissed, man. I've never seen him get that angry.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, we had to calm him down, man. He was serious about getting that butter cake, man.
Yes, I'd be pissed too. I'm pissed for him right now.
The old
Even though he's got
West
$90 million.
Yeah. We're going to get back to Bobby Hurley in a second. He's brought to you by Chevy. Football season is officially over, but that doesn't mean that we're going to stop rooting for our favorite team. That team is Chevy, and its franchise player is the Silverado. It's a truck with unstoppable grit and determination. According to J.D. Power, Chevy trucks have earned more new vehicle quality awards than any other brand. That's some serious hardware. Head over to Chevy.com, learn more. Silverado is as strong and dependable as the people who drive them. For J.D. Power 2022 U.S. award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Go test drive a Chevy Silverado today. You're going to love it. That's a guarantee. You're going to absolutely love the Silverado. Go to a Chevy dealership. This interview is also brought to you by LifeLock. Tax season can be taxing on your identity because all your personal information is in one place, getting emailed, shared, and possibly exposed to identity thieves. Tax forms can be like one-stop shops for ID thieves, which means it can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. Protection against identity theft is easier with LifeLock by Norton. LifeLock by Norton helps monitor your info and alerts you to potential identity threats. And if you do become a victim, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work with you to fix it during tax season and beyond. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can make sure that your identity theft protection starts here. Join LifeLock today. Save up to 25% off your first year by going to lifelock.com/PMT. That's lifelock.com/PMT. Get 25% off. Can you still get hot from three?
The only thing I do with that is, I'll take 2 shots everywhere we go. It's one of my rituals. My brother's got a million things he does too. So we go to shoot
He
around.
drinks piss.
Has that been confirmed yet?
We told him, it was like, hey, it looks like piss. We know it's not piss, but maybe just pretend it is, because that's a good intimidation.
It's a good psych out.
Yeah, if you're willing to do that, that's got to scare some
just
people.
Stare down the other coach and be like, see this?
I have my
piss.
suspicions because he brought it up to us. He goes, by the way, guys, I don't drink piss.
Yeah.
Which is a really unusual
That
thing to
sounds like
say
someone who drinks piss.
if you don't drink
Yeah, it
piss.
seems a little defensive.
Like I've never drank piss before. I've also never told anybody
That you
out
don't.
of nowhere, hey,
Yeah.
how's it going? My name's PFT. By the way, I don't drink piss.
Just, I know you were thinking it, but I don't do it.
I'm not even thinking about drinking piss right now.
Yeah. So all right. So
I make 2 shots
yeah.
every day. So just so I could say whatever new arena I may never have been played in before, that I made a couple of buckets there on the day of the game. So I'll make one at each basket, and then I'll just drop the ball back on the rack,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The other thing I'll do is I'll do a drill that I do with the guys. I can still move a little bit laterally, so they'll get the ball at half court. They get like 3 or 4 dribbles, head of steam coming at me at the 3-point line, and I'm just going to try and guess their handle, see if I could take the ball or beat them to the spot, right? And then if they go by me, I have a coach, and he's got a pad, so he's going to knock the shit out of them, and you got to finish through contact at the basket, But I like to see, like at this stage and where I'm at, like if I could stay in front of you, then I'm in deep shit.
Right.
When the game starts.
Right.
So that's why I do it. I want to see like, hey, could this guy that I have, my guard, he better be able to go by me.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And sometimes I guess right, and I might beat him, and then I could take a charge, and then I could.
Are you taking charges in practice?
If I beat him to a spot and I can't move, like they're too fast, so then it's either you're going to run me over, or you're going to go by me.
Do you have a pad or anything? Or you just
I got
hit the
nothing.
hardwood?
No,
Perfect.
I have nothing.
Taking charges in practice.
But then I
Bobby
could talk
Hurley
shit too, like, hey,
Yeah.
I got to stop or whatever.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's my way to stay connected.
But then if
with
you
them.
are able to stop them, then you're like, shit, I did a really bad job recruiting this kid because
Yes.
I'm able to stop him.
It's one of my most fun things to do when I get new kids in the program, freshmen, or I just got to transfer. So one of the first times that we'll do it, that's what I want to see. I want to make sure that they could go by me.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's great. One other thing about getting drafted in the NBA, you signed a sneaker deal with ITZ, In the Zone sneakers.
Yes.
What is that?
Well,
Do you have any?
I have them in my trophy case.
Okay, you do?
In my house. Yeah, I have.
What is that for real? Like,
Yeah.
what is that?
Well, it was a new company that was started. It was a new venture by Foot Locker.
Okay.
So they were getting into the game of starting their own shoe. So I was their first guy that was going to endorse the shoe.
Were you their only guy?
The only guy.
Okay. I was going to say.
And as it turned out, like we did a huge commercial shoot. We did it in LA. It was the coolest thing, like a dream for a kid. Like, hey, I have my own shoe, right? And so we did the commercial. That was cool. That was hitting national, and then all the marketing dollars were into me. Unfortunately, like 20 games into my rookie year, I was doing okay. I mean, I wasn't setting the world on fire, but I was leading, NBA rookies in assists. And 20 games in, accident, everything that they had put into me, kind of, there was no plan B. Right?
We need to do like a what if the accident doesn't happen in the zone shoes, like is better than Nike.
I mean, I would hope.
Were
that
they cool looking shoes?
I thought they were nice, like 3/4 mid, so they weren't like high tops. They had a decent look to them. They had my number 7. I wore 7 in the NBA on the back of the shoe.
Did you have equity in that?
I didn't have any stock. It was strictly a
just
a
the face of the
financial
company?
deal. Yeah,
We should bring these
it back.
back. Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's not a
right?
bad looking shoe.
It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have to bring 3 or 4 of them on the road for games because sometimes the bottoms would blow out because we were still figuring out just the
Oh wait,
the
now I'm looking at a
construction of
different
the
picture.
shoe.
It's a very bad shoe. It's ugly.
So that one's not flattering.
Yeah.
Those look like
We got to bring it back.
looks like a wrestling
get-
shoe.
Yeah,
almost.
like retro. Yeah, why not?
in the zone shoes. Like what could have been?
Yeah.
That would be sick. I laughed when I was looking it up. I was like, ITZ, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, in the zone shoes. Not to bring up another bad memory, but I do, from a coaching perspective, I'm curious about this. I'm a Badger fan. They sometimes have games where they just don't score. You had a game where you scored 29 points.
Yeah.
So you lost, was it like 50 to 29?
Yeah.
After that game, were you like, this isn't for me anymore? Because that was actually historic. I think it was the lowest scoring.
It was one of the worst feelings that I've ever experienced. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
You got hit by a car. 29 points.
I mean, how could I describe it? It was like a helpless feeling. You're sitting there and you wish you could just like hit a button and then you just fall like right to the floor. And then you're no longer there. It was like like I couldn't help them score a basket.
Right.
But I could tell you kind of why it happened. If you want to know the backstory on this.
Yes.
So we go to this like big tournament in the Bahamas, and it's a holiday tournament.
The Battle of Atlantis or whatever.
Atlantis, yeah. But it's 3 straight days, right? So we go play. We start off with number 1 Baylor, and we lose by 12, right? So then we get Syracuse, and I think we lose 88-84. So now we're day 3, 3rd straight day. We're playing a hard-nosed Loyola Chicago, and it's to just get a win so that we don't go 0 for 3.
Right.
They played hard, outplayed us. We lost again, so we lost 3 straight. So now we got to get on a plane, fly from the Bahamas all the way out to Arizona, and then like 3 days later, we're in that game.
Yeah.
These dudes were like shot, like wiped out. Like usually, like when you're playing in a Pac-12 tournament, you might have to, like, we played 3 straight days, but we're playing Arizona in the semis to have a chance to win a championship.
Yeah,
so you reach deep and you like this tournament, you just keep losing, and then you got to go again. You lose again, and just keep going. You lose again. Like Pac-12 tournament, you lose, you get your bags, you go home.
Yeah.
So these dudes, I think, mentally were beat up, and physically, all those games beat up. Yeah.
29 points. It's hard to do.
Yeah. But it's so unpredictable. It's the next game we went to Oregon, and I never wanted Oregon. And we scored like 80 and beat Oregon.
Did you? Yeah, like that is college basketball. Did you, after the 29-point game, were you like, all right, guys, we're gonna start like with the fundamentals. Like this is how you shoot, elbow in.
Like I don't even know what I said to them. Like it had to be something epic though. But I can't even go back there. Maybe it's like when bad things happen, you just try and like block them out of your memory.
Yeah.
Like pretend it didn't happen.
Burn the tape. Yeah. Don't ever watch that again. Yeah. I mean, in a weird way, having a historically bad performance it allows you to just be like, okay, I'm not even going to think about that.
Right.
That's such an aberration that we're going to pretend that didn't happen. And just move
then
forward.
the thing with me is everyone like kills me because I give too much freedom. Like I let guys take quick shots. We get up and down fast. Like. So it's rare that we would ever do that. Like if anything, our opponent might score way too many and we're not stopping them enough and stuff. Like it was just so uncharacteristic.
Oh, I probably had the over in that game, so that was probably my fault. So I apologize. I'm sure I did. It was like, oh, Arizona State, they run up and down, 29 points.
Yeah.
Shit.
How much fun would you have had going to Arizona State as a student? You really got to experience both sides of the academic spectrum there.
Yeah.
Duke and then Arizona State, which is like apparent. I've never been there, but I know people that went to college there. Let's just say they had a great time.
Well, my first week on the job, I brought in a kid, Shannon Evans, who was with me at Buffalo. He was 2 years. I was 2 years at Buffalo. We won the league, went to the NCAA tournament, lost to Coach Huggins, who you brought up, and that's might have been the exchange that he brought up. We lost a close game there in the NCAA tournament. Arizona State hired me. Shannon Evans was just finished his sophomore year, averaged 15 a game, was all-league player. He and I are like this. Buffalo was his only scholarship at a high school. He wanted to go with me to Arizona State. Fast forward, about a week or so, we do his visit, and it's a Friday in April, and it's about 4:00, and we take Shannon to see potentially where he might live, and it's one of these fancy apartments where students have all the amenities, pool tables, all these things, right? Beautiful. I'm like, wow, we didn't have this at Buffalo, right?
Right.
So we go up to the second floor, and that's where the gym is for this apartment complex. And they have huge windows. And as we walk to the windows, man, it was like there was people in bathing suits, and they were food, and it was hundreds of people, and it was nuts.
Yeah.
It looked like freaking
It's fake life.
It was spring break.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he's looking there, and he's like, wow, I just was in Buffalo. I think this looks pretty good to me, So, I mean, that's kind of, in a nutshell, what it was that day.
Yeah.
It seems
It's
like
a fun place to go to school, but I got to be careful about the guys I bring. I mean, they got to be serious about wanting to be pros and stuff.
Yeah, because there's a lot more distractions
Yeah.
than a place like Buffalo.
Yeah, you could lose your mind out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, you walk with them along that little beach area and just mark down how many times they look at the girls in swimsuits. this guy might be too horny to play for me.
So what's the best coaching lesson your dad and Coach K have given you? Coach K probably didn't give you any coaching lessons, but what's the one thing you go back to where it's like, I have this ingrained in my head, like when everything fails or when tough times come, this is what I've learned from these
I think my
legends.
dad was just like insane competitor. So all the competitive nature, drive you see from my brother or me, it's like it was grown in that house. Because I've never seen anyone that hates losing like him. Like it didn't happen too often, but when it did, it was like Armageddon in our house. He was. So we would just go into hiding, Dan and I. So you learn not to accept losing, and you also see how hard he works. I mean, he was a probation officer, and then he coached. So you develop a work ethic, and I think that has been a part of our identity, my brother and I. And then he was always willing to learn stuff. I don't always feel like I know it all. I'm still learning. I'm learning from our TCU loss. As coaches, we're constantly learning from failure or success, and he was always willing to try different things. So my dad is, he didn't think he knew it all ever, and so I always kind of remember that.
That's smart. Yeah.
And then Coach K, he's just amazing at motivating. His messaging, for coaching, it's I always think about what I'm telling my players all the time, because if I'm not on point with what I want to say to them, so that I'm pushing them in the direction they need to go, then that's one of the key underrated things about coaching is your messaging. And Coach K, man, was as good as I've ever been around in terms of getting people to play at their peak and getting them ready for big games and all that stuff.
Were you watching Coach K's career, because again you were there at the beginning? Were you upset ever that he got a little bit softer towards the end? Because I'm sure he was a lot harder on you guys when he was trying to climb the mountain. Did you notice that? When you go visit him, that the players had a little bit easier than you did?
I don't know. The times that I had been at games, I would sit right behind the bench, and I would see him lighting everyone up in the huddles, And
so he was the same guy.
Yeah, I don't know how much of the edge he lost. So I wouldn't say that was through my experience of seeing it. Now, I wasn't around all the time like that, but he got after it though.
And he did do he would pull wouldn't let them wear uniforms, right? Did he ever do that to you?
Took the D off.
Yeah,
the uniform.
did he ever do that to you guys?
I think we got thrown out of the locker room at one point. We weren't able to use that, so we had to change, at our apartment for practice, and then after, just go home, go right back. He said we didn't deserve to be in that locker room anymore.
Your Duke uniform.
Yeah.
What if that guy plays
That's
basketball?
funny. Yeah.
Did he ever tell any jokes? Was he a sense of humor at all?
Yeah, he did. It was like he I remember one time my freshman year, there was a big event that donors, boosters were at, and he was speaking, and I'm from Jersey, and I'm in the South now, right? And so they have all the good ribs and Southern barbecue and all that, and it was the theme of the night was that it was going to be a barbecue, right? And so he was just saying, like, he took a shot at me. He was like, they said that we're gonna have barbecue, and Hurley thought we were gonna have like hot dogs and hamburgers. And stuff, he would always take those. He had a really good dry sense of humor.
What about Pete Gaudette? I love that guy. Whatever happened to him?
Pete was great. I love Pete. He would always, like, after practice, grab me and just when I'm tired, just want me to get more shots up and stuff. He was Pete was funny dude too, man. He one time in the airport, I remember Coach put a $1 bill on the in the baggage claim, and he just put it on there, and it was just spinning around, and he was just looking to see what would happen with it. And some random guy just walked up, looked around, and
took
the $1 bill. He would do stuff like that. But Coach, he actually came to a game of mine when I was coaching at Buffalo at Kent State.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Coach Gaudette, so I was able to spend a little time with him.
Yeah,
he's the kind of guy that would do anything for you.
Yeah, he did everything for Coach K, including taking all those losses. I did set you up there. I mean, those should be on Coach K's record, but whatever. We don't have to get into that. We're here celebrating the Final Four.
Yeah.
A last couple questions. So we are here at the Final Four. Do you have, like, I would imagine this time of year, every year, you just have, like, great memories flash back in your head, because it is my favorite tournament. It's such a, like, March is so special, and it's got to be, like, something extra special for you. Do you have that? Like, it all flashes back when we get to this time of year?
Yeah. I mean, I put myself back in that UNLV game, the plays I made, to think about it, what it felt like to stand on that stage when you won and you're the champ, and that's it. And it's, like, life-changing,
Yeah.
It's hard to explain it. Like, when you do it, it's such a good feeling that once that feeling goes away, like, then I just wanted to get back in the gym again.
Right.
Because I knew everyone would be chasing me for it. So, like, I made sure, like, the next year that we were, like, ready again. And I don't know, we just were able to play in iconic games.
Yeah.
Playing that UNLV game and then beat Kansas. I remember throwing a pass to Grant Hill where I kind of was dribbling it, and I fumbled the ball a little bit. I had to throw the lob right quick, and the ball was, like, going right into the crowd, and he just went up there and reached and dunked it. And so I'm seeing that. And then playing Indiana. I got to go play Indiana the next year. Bobby Knight, Coach K, and then the Fab Five. Yeah, it was just like these big time games, with so much on the line. It was just
it's a lot of the tournament as it is today, and, like, the love that we have for it as sports fans came from those runs and, like, those iconic teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's so many more outlets now. There's so many more media ways to watch basketball. Like, every team could be watched. Like, back when I played, it was basically us on CBS on Saturday, or ESPN. And, it was Duke was on TV like every weekend.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you're brainwashed with Duke all the time.
Yeah.
It's true.
I hate you guys so much. I was gonna say I can't watch the Pac-12 network, but you do. That's not your fault. I'm always like, what the hell? I want to watch this game. It's like every single year, I'm like, God damn it, I want to watch this game.
You sound like my parents of the kids that I coach.
Well, I mean, it's probably for different reasons. They want to watch their son coach. I'm like, I bet on this game. I want to watch this game. All right. So last question for me, rowback question, rhoback.com. Use promo code TAKE, 20% off. I'm wearing the polo right now. Q-zips, hoodies, joggers, great athletic wear. So I love horse racing. You got into horse racing. Do you miss, like, because you were in it right after you left the NBA. It's one of the hardest businesses to be in. Do you miss it? Do you ever think about going back into it?
I do. And I've talked with my wife, Leslie, about that, and I'm getting some resistance.
Yeah. I mean, it's impossible business.
It's from a business
you don't get in it to make money.
Yeah, you can't. It's hard.
Yeah.
But, like, again, it replaced my competitive nature towards that I had for basketball. It was something different that I did. I was able to learn a lot about it. Like, I had some great moments. Like, I had a horse run in the Kentucky Derby. I won a couple of grade 1 races. Like, I had I was fairly successful, but it's just, it's not
hard,
an easy business. Yeah, but I love it. I mean, I still watch all the big races.
Yeah, there's two big races
the
today.
Florida Derby.
Yeah, and the Arkansas Derby. Yeah.
I'll be rooting. I love Forte. I've watched Forte a few times.
No,
I know
I think will be the Kentucky Derby favorite, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to win today, but I got a good feeling about Forte. That's my pick.
I mean, horse racing. Like I was lucky enough to go to a breeders this year, and I saw Flightline. I was like, this horse. When you see those.
Oh, were you at that race?
Yeah.
I was at that race.
Yeah.
I went
we
to
go to a
Pacific
bunch
Classic,
of races. Yeah.
That like it kind of took your breath away just watching what he did, right?
That, and I saw American Pharoah in 2015, also at Keeneland for the breeders, and I was like, this horse is.
Yeah.
When you see those horses that are special,
Yeah.
it really does like take your breath away. You're like, I'm seeing something that
something special.
you won't see for another decade. Yeah.
That horse was amazing. Flightline.
Yeah.
He might
Incredible.
probably be the best horse I've ever seen.
Ever. I wish that we'll talk off air, but like that's my only problem with horse racing is like the fact that he's already out to stud. It's like I want to see that horse race again and again and again.
Yeah.
But that's a different discussion. Do you want to ask him if he's actually rooting for his brother?
Yeah. So I asked your brother this. Is there any like 1%, tiny percent of you sibling rivalry? Like, God, it'd be good to see him lose.
No way. It's his time, man. This is like, like he's had to deal with my stuff his whole life, like especially his playing career, and like we're best friends. So like there's not like a fabric in my body or whatever that doesn't want to see him win on Monday night. Like it would be the coolest thing. My dad has always had his thing. I had my thing. I mean, he's paid his dues. I mean, he started as a high school coach. Like, I worked with him for 3 years. So as good a coaches as I've been exposed to, like, he's in that category. Like, and I saw it, like, for years. So, like, I knew this day was coming. And I just hope that he closes the deal. And I'll be, like, it's going to be hard to watch these games.
Yeah.
Like, it was hard in Vegas. Like, he made it easy because they were just dominating, both games. But, you live and die like every possession. Like, the impact of everything, So as from a coaching standpoint. So that's what I'll be doing, for those 2 hours tonight.
It is, I mean, perfectly put. Like your dad, obviously legendary high school coach. You had a legendary college career. And then your brother to be able to potentially win as a coach in the Final Four. Yeah. Everyone gets their own thing.
Yep.
You guys hog it all.
Well, also,
you Hurleys are just taking everything.
You were great in blue chips, too. Your performance on the silver
that was
screen
awesome
was fantastic.
experience.
One of the best basketball movies. Yeah.
You want a good story? I can tell you on that.
Yeah.
All right. So we're in that movie, and they're shooting raw footage the whole time. And I'm on the Indiana team. I got the Indiana jersey. Bob Knight is the coach, and like I'm being super fundamental. I'm throwing chest passes and bounce passes. I'm not throwing lobs or over the shoulder, behind the back. I'm keeping everything real simple for coach. Respect. So we shoot all the footage, and they needed one more shot. So the director come in the huddle, and he says, all right, we need about 15, 20 minutes to set up the last play. So Penny Hardaway is going to throw the lob pass to Shaquille O'Neal. And then they win, and then that's how the movie ends, right? You've seen the movie.
Yeah.
It's great movie.
So they set the shot up, get the cameras in place, get the crowd where they want them. The director comes in the huddle, tells Coach Knight, hey, we're ready for you guys. Come on out and play defense. So he leaves. As we're leaving the huddle to go play defense, Coach Knight says, don't let him get it. Grab him. So they run the play.
He's coaching,
they
he's
run the
coaching
play,
him.
set the back screen. Shaq goes off the back screen. They throw the lob. We grab Shaq. The ball goes out of bounds, and he's yelling. The director's yelling, cut. Like so now they had to reset the whole shot again.
But you guys won.
Yeah.
Well, we won the scrimmage,
take.
but like in the scrimmage game we won, but like in the movie they won.
No, on that take you guys won.
You guys won.
Yeah.
Bobby Knight just won.
They got to
Yeah, he
release
won
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. They got to release that in ITZ's shoes. All right. Well, Coach, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for making time for us.
Yeah.
We're big fans of the Hurley family, and we'll be rooting you on next year and your brother this weekend.
I appreciate you guys. Enjoyed it, man.
Bobby Hurley was brought to you by Hims and Hers. Who wants to have better sex? Better hair? Better mental health? We all do, right? Okay, AWLs, we have a new partner that's changing the game when it comes to how you can access healthcare. Let me introduce you to Hims. Whether you're looking for support for performance in the bedroom, hair loss, or your mental health, Hims can help. At forhims.com/PMT, you get access to licensed medical providers and trusted treatments for ED, hair loss, and anxiety. It's 100% online. If you get prescribed, Hims will ship to you for free, and discreet packaging. It's that simple. Getting help should not be hard. With Hims, all it takes is one click to get started. So go to forhims.com/PMT today. I know that a lot of people's hair is thinning out there. ED is an issue that a lot of guys experience. Well, guess what? You can use 4Hims. They can help you with anything that you need. Find the support that you need for treating ED, hair loss, and mental health all in one place. Get started today, 4hims.com/PMT. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
Okay, let's wrap up the show. We got breaking news.
Huge.
Breaking news. Breaking moves.
Max.
That was trash. God, that was terrible. Breaking news. Henry Lockwood is in hell right now. His flight to vacation in San Diego is 35 minutes delayed.
Oh, no. Poor Hank.
That's terrible.
And Hank,
terrible.
I know that he really wanted to be here for the show.
So much.
But unfortunately, he had to play another round of golf and then go to the airport.
Yeah, so we taped some golf videos this morning. One of them is going to come out in Pardon My Take YouTube. The other's on Macrodosing YouTube. So we went and golfed with Arian Foster today. And Hank could have changed his flight to come to St. Charles with us. Lake Charles with us. Instead, he was like, why don't you guys go ahead? I'm going to play some more golf. You guys go work. I'm going to golf to prep for my vacation where I'm going to golf.
Yeah, you can't just go on a golf vacation without golfing before.
Yeah.
And now some might say, but hey, guys, weren't you already golfing today? Mm-hmm. He wanted to play a full 36.
He wanted to play without cameras. We were doing it for work. He was like, no, I'm going to stick back. Make sure you know what, guys? I'm going to close down this golf course real quick. Make sure all the lights are off and the doors are locked. You guys go ahead and keep working.
Yeah. So credit to Hank. I know he did want to be here very, very much, but I guess his vacation got off to a rocky start. Some would say karma.
Yes.
I would not.
I had a question for Max real quick. Max, are you gonna take a bath in my outdoor bath here?
I don't understand why this has turned into a thing.
Because you said that you take baths on the road while watching your laptop, and I said that's the saddest thing ever, and you're like, that's not sad. And I was like, no. I also take baths, and I know how sad it looks because you got your fat belly, your little dick, you're peeing on yourself, and you're taking a bath.
Well, I mean, I understand that the visual isn't great. Mm-hmm. It's not, but it's not like there's other people in there with me. I'm not looking at myself.
But now we're going to tape you taking a bath.
When you stand up, when you stand up out of the bath and you get that first glimpse of yourself in the mirror and you have to think about what you've just done, that is a sad moment.
I mean, it's not like every time I look at myself in the mirror, it's not necessarily the proudest moment.
Listen, we're losing 20 pounds.
That's true.
We're next Memorial Day?
Memorial Day. Losing 20 pounds by Memorial Day. We've done this before, but we're doing it for real this time.
We were walking on the golf course, and Max just goes, I'm losing 20 pounds by Memorial Day, and then just shakes my hand. I was like, why are you shaking my hand?
It's
I was
on.
like, what? And he was like, I just wanted to be on the record.
No, because by doing that means it's officially on.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. You got to burn the boats. Yeah. Just burn the boats, Max. Just start slamming salads. Rip a soup. Mm-hmm. Go to the soup and salad diet. It's a great diet. We're going to have Memorial Day abs.
Yeah, well, let's not get carried away.
Abs is crazy.
Let's not get carried away.
Come on, Max and I are never.
Yeah, abs aren't real.
No, they aren't.
But yeah, no, I'm gonna lose some weight. 20 pounds. Baths are cool. Baths are relaxing. Like
I'm not saying the baths aren't cool. I do take baths as well. I'm saying that all I said when you remarked that you watched a movie in the bath on Friday night, I was like, oh, that's a sad sight. And you were like, what? And I was like, well, you and I look the same. Like when I take a bath, if someone walked in and saw me taking a bath, they'd be like, ugh.
No, yeah, it's scary.
Right.
So
it's not romantic. It's not cool looking.
I also want to say, like, the bathtubs at our hotel in Houston were fantastic bathtubs. Mm-hmm. They were the big jacuzzi ones. They had jets just blasting in it.
You got to do the jets.
Yeah, because like I don't want you to think that you're just going into like the little shower, shower bathtub.
If you knew how Max takes a bath, you'd be impressed with it. Max, you put like a lot of bubble bath in there, don't you?
So I had this huge thing of body wash in there, and
hell yes.
And I swear it was like a massive.
Yes, so that covers your gut.
So, yeah,
so you're good.
I squeezed literally probably 75% of this bottle like into the water as it was coming out, and it didn't give that much. It didn't give me that many bubbles. But then when I clicked the jets, it was
Bubble City.
I thought it was
so
gonna.
now
It was
it's
like
cool.
like a washing machine when you put too many suds in it.
Baths
Okay.
are definitely cool. I
Just
don't want
don't
to.
get stuck
I don't
in
want
a
to
bath.
sound like
I'm not
you're
gonna get
saying
stuck in a bath.
that baths
'cause
aren't
if you get
cool.
stuck in a bath,
Baths
are
are.
And you shouldn't pee on yourself
They're
in
very
the tub.
but we all do.
But we all
Sometimes a
do.
little squirts out. You
I
get
think
so relaxed.
I think what you say is don't jerk off on yourself in the bath.
Oh yeah.
But everyone's done it.
would never do that. never do that.
I plead the fifth.
Definitely happened.
Plead the fifth.
Well, then you pee after to wash out the jerk off.
Yeah, that doesn't work. Those things, you can't do both of those things.
Well, yeah, you could pee after.
Yeah, and then it gets everywhere.
Yeah, no, you clean out the hole.
Yeah, clean the pipes
Yeah,
out.
but
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I know it's a gross scene, dude. I just said when I take a bath, it's a gross fucking scene.
I always imagine it's like a dragon breathing fire onto a crowd of people, but it's just urine killing millions of sperm.
Yeah, right.
But
No, that's especially if you're eating spicy food.
Yeah.
Dead.
are you trying to kill sperm?
Always.
Well, yeah. What if someone scoops up, comes to your bath after? What if a woman sits in your bath after and gets it pregnant?
Yeah, then I'm sitting here
did not
with
think
a
about the
huge
pregnancy.
child
How do you
support
think I have a
payment.
third kid on the way?
Yeah. It was the bath. I knew it was the bath.
All right. Let's kick it to ourselves. We got the golf videos. So the Pardon My Take one out tomorrow. That was a joke.
That was funny. That was funny.
No, these guys work
No.
very hard. The editing is not easy.
No, definitely don't tweet at Max and be like, "When's
This
the golf
is
video?"
so annoying.
Don't.
These videos.
I got
golf
your back,
videos,
Max. Don't do
They'll
that.
be out when they're out.
Yep.
They'll be out
Golf
when they're
videos
out.
take forever
I know.
to edit.
I know. So
That was
it'll-
Hank's. That's
so-
quite a goodbye for Hank. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to help with producing the podcast because I'm going on vacation, but also you're gonna be stuck with having to edit me playing golf
Yes.
for the next
Yeah.
week and a
Yes,
half.
but do watch PMTV.
Yeah, because we played a little bit of golf in last week's PMTV. There might be a little. There
but
might
you
be.
got that out pretty quick.
Well, that
All right,
was
so
just
listen,
like
we're traveling Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday will be the golf video.
Well, Thursday. No. Thursday we might put a little bit of. There might be a little bit of golf content in this.
Well, Max, the Masters is this weekend. People are going to want to see that.
They
golf
need more
content.
golf.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm not making any
Totally put him in a
promises
terrible
for
spot.
anything.
All right, let's kick it to ourselves back in studio. See if Hank gets a lottery ball.
Love you guys.
Okay, lottery ball time. Hank, you ever gotten this?
No.
We're taping them all back to back. You said that you didn't want to get it right now. Why?
I want to be in person. I want to get it in person. You know?
Well, you could. I mean, you could be. We're all here. It's a Wednesday.
Yeah, I could be, but I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, it would actually suck if Hank got this one.
Yeah. Maybe do a little self-evaluation on time off.
I mean, I'm working. I just am doing meetings all day, so I work from home. If we're recording the podcast or have
Oh, we
a plan,
did. We
you kind of
recorded a bunch of stuff.
you kind of just sprung this on me.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I wanted to give you a chance. You can X out right now. You don't have to be part of this.
There was no way that Hank could have come into work today if you only give him 18 hours notice.
right.
Big Cat.
Yeah. All right. So you want?
I know. I actually told Big Cat yesterday I
you wanna
wasn't coming
X
in.
out?
He was fine with it. If he said I
Do you
need
wanna
you in,
X out?
I easily would have come in.
Do you want to X out?
Kind of. I mean, you
All right, then
guys are
see
being
it.
rude.
All right,
you guys
go.
are being hostile.
Go.
You guys are
Fine.
being hostile.
We're not being hostile.
I don't understand the
Have you
hostility.
ever gotten this number?
No.
All right. Do you want to X out?
Kind of. Yeah.
All right. So go ahead. You're out of here.
Can I get like an umpire?
Yeah. Bang. See ya, buddy. Do you want to sit and
All right.
watch though? You sit and watch.
6.
Oh, so he's guessing. Okay.
That's
yeah.
that's
exactly.
technically a false start.
Yeah, that is a false. Oh,
That's technically a false start.
he left. What a baby. All right.
I'm going to give him 6.
All right. We'll give him 6 for this one. I'll go numbers. I'll
69.
go 17.
I'll go 76.
99.
Oh, he's asking to come back in. You knew he couldn't stay away. You knew he couldn't stay away. You knew he couldn't stay away. Oh, you knew he couldn't stay away. That was a great. I know you're C-suite, but art of the deal, bro. I read it, and I just fucking bodied you in that. All right, memes. What's yours?
99.
Is he
Okay.
keeping 6?
Yeah, he's keeping 6.
It was a false start.
Oh yeah, but no one else picked 6, so he gets 6.
Does anyone else want 6? 18.
29.
Not enough.
New. We're down to 6 and 26.
Wow.
Unreal.
6 and 26.
Wow.
And Hank picked 6.
He picked a new number and he still couldn't get it right. There's 3 of them. He had a 33% chance of winning that one.
What was the bet again? If they all get picked before him?
Well, no, he's just we were going to do that, but then he would just sit on one number.
6, 26, 29. Now 29.
Wow.
A lot of people are going to be really happy.
Yeah.
Because they stick to the same number, the strategy we talked about.
That's an understatement, Jake. People are going to be ecstatic.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. We'll see everyone on Wednesday.
Love you guys.
Penguins give rocks like wedding rings to their mate.
Okay.
Sick.